What's up, everybody? It's your boy Alex, and I'm back. This time we're gonna listen or just watch things on Brian Laundrie and his whereabouts, where he could possibly be, and just speculate about that. Uh, Leave a like and subscribe. Help me grow my channel. Now, this is the person I've been following for a few days. It could know. He's also another person who's just asked almost everything about Gabby Petito in her case. So let's just
doing was getting ready to ask people, hey,
see
how
what we
long
can
are you
do
going to
here.
be here? You might need to leave, because they were getting ready to move in and do their search. That had become one of the places of interest. We also know there's a woman from Florida, a couple, the Bakers, Shannon Baker, and she and her husband were positive that they spotted Gabby's van around the 25th in the parking lot of the Jenny Lake Grand Teton National Park. So that's just down the street from this Spread Creek camping area. So just a lot the family tells me, and I don't know what more information they have, but they've just told me multiple times, we feel that we had to be here. We feel that she was here. This was, if you think about it, the country is so big, and, Gabby could have been anywhere if they drove the van from here to Florida, but the family felt confident that this was where they needed to be, and that Brian Laundrie, her boyfriend, left here on August 30th and started driving back to Florida, arriving on September 1st. So back to this Chopper story. So Chopper goes out on Friday. We don't see much. Saturday, we realize, later in the day that they had started to search and rescue efforts. And then
All right,
suddenly
guys.
we knew that they were really zeroing in on this Spread Creek area. And so Chopper went up early Friday morning
Damn.
and started flying this area. Now this is kind of where it gets interesting
Sips do
if
hope.
you consider just kind of the way Chopper 5 works. So Chopper 5 isn't necessarily able to fly for long periods of time. Well, it can, but keep in mind it was flying all the way from Salt Lake City. And so by the time it got here, and I call them the guys, but Chopper 5's pilot and our photojournalist, they were telling us that they knew that they had about 10 minutes of flight time left before they needed to land Chopper 5.
Damn.
And so they went out into that area and they noticed, they had closed off all of the Spread Creek camping ground area. And they noticed that all of a sudden there's this big group of search and rescue team members that were heading out, kind of, not in a hurry, just kind of like going home. And they thought, well, we just got here. It's about 11:30. Why are they going home? And so they, started circling around, and then they kind of noticed a different group of people, and that group was kind of smaller, and they started kind of making their way across the creek. So they were on the south side of the creek was kind of the area that was of interest, because that's where the van was spotted. But on the north side was also a search area, not as many people there, but suddenly you see this little group walking across the creek. Sorry guys, my arm is getting a little tired. I need to work out. But they see when they get to the other side of the creek that one of them is carrying what looks like
Be right back.
like a portable tent. They realize, okay, something is weird here. Something is odd. What's going on here? So they keep circling, and then they start to see this group open the tent, and they start to see, different members being crossed on the creek on horseback. And so these are all images, by the way, that you guys can see. We have them out there. And suddenly they see them open the tent, and they see them start to move it over, and then they see a forensic detective who starts taking pictures. They're documenting, right? And they start pointing the camera in a different direction, and they start walking in that direction. And that's when Chopper 5, when our pilot Ben and Jay Hancock realized what they were photographing. And so it was a body that was laying under a grove of trees. We have not shown those images, and we won't, but we know where that exact location is because we were there. And so our team quickly came back to the airport, and we started making calls and trying to confirm and trying to understand what was going on here and what this means. And so that's kind of how Sunday unfolded. And so we started driving up here, and yesterday we did some more flying over in that same area that, where we had spotted all that activity. was not taped off, but they kind of had this coordinated, like kind of almost like a radial grid type thing. And so they had pink tape, I want to say, and like yellow tape or something around this area. And so you know that they're mapping, they're doing their forensic work, trying to really document that situation. And so, I guess someone's saying disrespectful things. It's fine. I don't care. I'm just trying to help you guys understand the work that we've been doing here. So the story ends with where we are today. We had the autopsy take place today, this morning, and so we now have results that
My dog,
confirm what
everybody.
everyone has suspected all along, that the remains that were found belonged to Gabby Petito. And so the county coroner also believes that this was a murder. Now, the official cause of death is pending. They're waiting for more information from the final autopsy results to come through. And that's where we're at today.
Wow.
Now, in the meantime, I'm guessing a lot of you guys are wondering what's going on with
cash. You don't take your wallet with you when you're on the run. They bought him burner phones so they can't ping off the towers. He's got plenty of 2 or 3 cell phones somewhere. They got him supplies and they gave him a bunch
that's
of
speculation.
cash. And the lawyer knows that, and he'll swear, "Oh, you can't arrest me for."
And I had a friend wondering that too when the family went up to meet with the attorney in Orlando. You know, besides talking, what else happened? And, you know, was there an exchange of money? And, you know, who knows?
Aiding and abetting. The dirty Laundrie's father and mother, they know exactly what went on, and they drove that kid somewhere where he could run. And that lawyer got on the phone last Friday and lied to the police.
This is evidence, right? Like, this is evidence. A lawyer's statement that says these charges for bank fraud that pertain to allegedly, you know, Brian Laundrie using Gabby Petito's ATM card, and we don't know if it's hers or not, but it sure sounds like it because he had the PIN, according to the feds. How on earth would the lawyer for the Laundries know anything about the time of death? I mean, honestly, I would be right now, if I were in the federal office of the FBI in Denver, I would be laminating the statement from the lawyer saying that this happened after Gabby's death. How on earth would the Laundries know when Gabby died? How?
They're the dirty Laundries, and I just can't believe how
dirty Laundries.
So many red herrings. The kid got away. He got away. Matt, let's give him the benefit of the doubt that they took him somewhere before Gabby's parents filed a missing persons report. And they scrubbed everything, and they gave him everything he needed to stay on the run. They know where they let him off. And this lawyer knows that he's dealing with a dirty guy, but he's going to say this, and you're a lawyer, and you were a good one, Ashley. He's going to say, well, everybody has to have a defense. Well, I don't know how he can sleep at night because this is a beautiful girl. This is maybe 100 pounds, a battered woman, a domestic abuse victim. Those cops could have saved her life. You're showing that video, and it's so sad. They're a beautiful family. She lived in the house. How could these people not call her family and say, we're going to do everything to help you find her when she was missing until they found the body? When people clam up and they don't talk to the media, they don't talk to the cops, it puts one big old mark on their head, guilty. Now with this warrant, this is fantastic because now any federal, state, or local cop can look for this guy and put the collar on him. It's not just the FBI. And the FBI needs time to build his case. I talked to the stepfather's friends yesterday, and they said, you know, we're out here, we're going to bring Gabby home. And I said, listen, let that forensic pathologist, don't worry if it takes him 3 or 4 days. He will be the key.
Get it right.
There's no real
get it right, you know.
You
want to preserve the prosecution. What, you know, we've still got a long way to go in this story, right? We're going to hopefully find him. Then we're hopefully going to see some charges that are apropos of what's happened, and then there may be a plea or a trial. So every piece of material that ends up in an evidence lockup has to be really pristine. John, I'm going to jump to break real quickly, but I just wanted to let you know, you just mentioned hundreds of thousands of dollars for the search. Well, now we have some math that shows.
David said, thank you for the super chat. The warrant was issued the day before the release, and it states after the death. This is a non-issue. I had the warrant pull up. Let me keep playing it. I did have it up, and I think he's right. Is this it here? No, I'll play it in a second.
Shows it's actually $200,000 per day. And we have now been at this in that swamp for a week. So if you do the math, we are upwards of $1.2 million by estimates of someone in law enforcement who has said this is going to be a costly bill if it's a red herring. When we come back after the break, we're going to dig into that, what the possibilities are the parents could face that bill or charges, and then also who might be helping Brian Laundrie. Can he really, really do this on his own? That's next.
What's he watching? Banfield?
Welcome back. You know, it is now going to those officers and agencies to do this every day, looking for a guy who may or may not be there, because we're really going off the word of his parents, who just didn't tell us for 4 days that he was out there. But here we are, searching.
This is it right here.
John Walsh,
broadcast.
Eventually someone who even knows the outdoors well is going to have to get some help, because he's got likely not much money and it will run out. And winter is coming. Sorry for that silly line, but eventually that is going to happen. And at some point he's going to need some food, some shelter, and maybe some additional clothing.
Well, I've done some fugitives that were dumber than Brian. I mean, he and his family, the dirty laundries, you know, they've outsmarted.
Now he keep calling them the dirty laundries, yeah.
I've had guys stay out there for years. You know, if he makes it to Mexico, he can head through South America. He can sell drugs. You know, he can do a whole ton of things. I caught guys that were running, you know, parasailing stuff on the, you know, on the west coast of Mexico. So sometimes losers like him can stay out there longer than you ever realized, and they'll pick up a job somewhere. But, you know, I want to remind people, you know, I caught 42 guys in Mexico, and I have Spanish speaking operators. And people from Mexico don't want to get involved with American cops. So they call me all the time. There's lots of fans of my work in Mexico.
That is really true. And a different story that I covered, Veronica Reyes, is North Florida actually as well. There was like this trailer area and the woman went missing. She still to this day is not found. And that one is mysterious and interesting as well. But that it's a community. I heard some of them are, you know, illegal, don't have all their documentation. And so they don't want to talk to cops. We went there knocking door to door. We handed flyers door to door, but they were looking at us kind of crazy. This is the indictment. We've seen it so many times already, but you know, it says from on or about August 30th through and including on or about September 1st in the District of Wyoming and elsewhere, the defendant Brian Laundrie knowingly and with intent to defraud used one or more unauthorized access devices, namely a Capital One bank debit card ending in 8774 and a personal identification number for Capital One bank accounts ending in 0525 and 8665. And by such conduct obtained things of value aggregating to 1,000 or more during that period of time. During that period, which affected interstate commerce. There was another one as well, but
over the years, they're good people. They don't want an
American
American
man going in
jail.
There.
You know, he's a domestic abuser, and you know, but yeah. If they, you know, I did a case 2 years ago on In Pursuit where a guy he was a terrible domestic abuser, got divorced, and he killed his ex-wife.
Ooh. Alive. All right, Chad, what do y'all think?
Let's talk about a few updates in the case of Brian Laundrie. So even though some folks are thinking Brian doesn't know how to survive in the wilderness, according to Rose Davis, Gabby's friend, Brian can survive in the wilderness. He's out in the wilderness, I promise you, she said. So he once stayed in those Appalachian mountains by himself for months. So one wonders if that's where he is now. The 21-year-old Davis told People he's out there. He is. If about is any information about Brian's ex-girlfriend.
This isn't, I'm not fact checking anything. This is just a video on YouTube.
Whose social media handle is Gabriella Darling. even though that's not her real name. I'll just leave her real name out of it. Gabriella Darling had allegedly written on Brian's social media page, "You can delete my comment all you want, but you can't delete the life I live with you at some point. Oh, even when we dated, I always knew you were narcissistic and abusive. You deserve everything that is coming your way. I hope you don't take the easy way out. Turn yourself in and do the right thing, Brian. Her family deserves closure and peace." Well, of course, people jumped all over that because folks want to know more about what Brian may have been like as a romantic partner, even though Gabriella lists her location as being from Puerto Rico. She allegedly lives or lived in Florida. She is no longer accepting friend requests, according to Instagram, but she does write that she's standing up for what's right, using my voice to help women around the world. Allegedly, Gabriella gave an interview on Instagram Live. So if anyone has details about that, because her Instagram is private,
shoot, might as well watch it, guys. Come on.
Below about anything said in her IG Live video. Thank you. In the meantime, according to The Insider, Gabby Petito's best friend says that Brian Laundrie once lived
Let me search up Brian Laundrie. All speculation, none of it confirmed. Just remember. Yeah, something about his ex-girlfriend freaking out. So
but I do want
just
to say,
toss up to speculation.
because there's a good chance at some point Brian Laundrie may be watching TV in the diner that he might be in, or at the gas station, or wherever he might be. If you had a chance to say something to Brian Laundrie, what would you tell him?
I would say, turn yourself in. Do two things, Brian. Turn yourself in, but you won't. You're a coward. Now you're facing the death penalty. You brutalized this girl. You're a real big guy. You 90-pound woman. You brutalized her, broke everybody's heart. So either turn yourself in before the cops shoot it out and kill you when they catch you.
God damn.
And spare this family the torture, or kill yourself. Do the right thing, Brian.
Guy's very passionate about a lot of things. He has a whole
just a coward. So go out there
little boat in a bottle behind him.
know where your body is, so your
And then like
laundry
old
mom and
furniture
dad
too.
can bury you somewhere. Because I know what it's like not to have a body to bury. All I got they found of Adam's remains was his severed head. So turn yourself. Kill yourself somewhere and spare this family from a horrible trial. Ashley, you know how horrible the trials are. Parents sit in the courtroom and they show pictures of your children in the, partially decomposed out in the desert. They're torture. And the families want to be there. So Brian, the right thing for you to do is go somewhere and off yourself and save everybody a lot of trouble. And when they catch you, don't forget, buddy, you made a huge mistake. Wyoming's a death penalty state. I told your lawyer, bring him in. He won't have to face the death penalty. He can make a deal.
Gotta stop having anyone on here.
Bad advice the whole way through. Because when they catch him, he's either going to get killed by the cops when they take him because he's a coward. I say kill yourself now and save people lots of money. And they're
not gonna know when he just offs himself.
Family has.
So what questions to be answered?
Because I'm going to push. He's aiding and abetting. He knows everything about this case. It's way past lawyer private client privilege. And take his assets and put it back into the funds to look for. He's not net swamp, Ashley.
Well, he had no assets. He lived with his parents.
It's very frustrating to see all
he had no house
and all that money. But John, it's great the work you're doing. That you're getting all these tips. That you're getting all these viewers to check their devices and see if there's an image.
He's getting viewers.
I can't tell you how much I've appreciated all you've done for this.
What do y'all think, guys?
I'm going to give you a plug. John Walsh is on Wednesday nights. It's called In Pursuit on Investigation Discovery.
Hotline.
Also is streaming, so you can catch John Walsh. Thank you, John.
You don't have to thank me. You used to work for me, and you were one of my best reporters. You're a really solid citizen. It's wonderful the way you're covering this and the way you're helping the victims out. Thank you. I'm glad to be on your
Hey guys, it's Crazy Crime Chick. also on August 22nd. Then on August 9th, it looks like Brian also follows this person because he liked this photo. Now, Gabby and Brian both liked quite a few of this person's posts. I think I went all the way back to like June. But the one I'm more interested will definitely be the one that was uploaded on August 27th because Gabby liked that one. And then we know that Gabby's mom said that she last FaceTimed her on August 25th. Now, Gabby's mom said that she did receive some text messages from Gabby's phone going all the way up to, and the last one would have been on August 30th.
That text reads, "No service in Yosemite." It was sent on August 30th. It was the last time Gabby's mother heard from her before she was reported missing on September 11th. Gabby's mom has doubts that this text was actually sent from her daughter.
So let's take a closer look at this timeline together. So that text was sent August 30th from Yosemite National Park.
That is wild.
Well, just 2 days later, September 1st, her fiance, Brian Laundrie, returned to Northport. So that drive is more than 60 hours. So if Gabby was the one who sent that final text from Yosemite, it's impossible that Brian was with her.
You can see this person posted on August 30th, and Gabby did not like this photo. Now, with that new TikTok video that has come out where this girl says that she actually picked up Brian, he was hitchhiking, and Gabby was not with him, that was said to be on August 29th. So since Gabby liked that photo on the 27th, and then you have this person saying that she gave Brian a ride on the 29th without Gabby,
conclude it's in between those 2 days.
to her on the 28th. Now, as for that last text on the 30th, I personally think that was all staged. But I'm interested to know what you guys think. So comment below. And as always, I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye, guys.
Good information right there. That's good information. You're spot on about everything. Alrighty then, alright. Ooh. I love how they're sticking out the house. Good to know.
They exactly did exactly as you're saying, Ashley. They took all the computer or forensic data and devices that existed, not to mention probably Mr. and Mrs. Landry's phone as well. They also probably, when they took the cars, they took the GPS and the computers out of the car, which gives them a lot of information. Now, when they traveled, as John was referring to, John Walsh, who just appeared on your show, was referring to, when they traveled, plate readers, other devices picked up exactly where the car went, when it went, not to mention the pinging of their phones on cell towers as they went along the belts in Florida.
What I also
see, that's what I'm saying. The more Brian moves, as long as he did bring his phone back to Florida.
I know, it's crazy, right?
So that had to ping.
But I've had moments, I swear, I didn't type nothing, whatever. I'm just thinking it, and it's there. I'm like, what the heck? Freaked out.
Me as to, you know, hitting a Wi-Fi when you go into an establishment and you decide to pick up their Wi-Fi.
What do you guys think? Do you think Gabby?
So if he's gone anywhere,
did they ever say where they found Gabby's phone? Now I think about it.
We can know about that. We can trace where he's been based on, you know, hooking up to Wi-Fi and then eventually leaving. That's pretty miraculous.
I would
reasonably what do you guys think?
Assume that police are trying to monitor not only.
Unless he has a VPN.
But you can't. What's the VPN?
If you connect to Wi-Fi on a VPN, then it would throw it off.
Only any device
but
picked up, even
still, any cellular data would be traceable. You can't just use Wi-Fi the whole way back, especially across the deserts or highways. There's no Wi-Fi on the road.
Doing to catch this guy who may be guilty of murder. But at this point in time, law enforcement is using every device available to them to potentially catch him.
And Tom, how amazing is it for police that so many people now have their own personal dash cams? Many people want it for their
I didn't even think about that.
You know, but
he's gonna have dash cam footage of people, like people catching him on their dash cams on the way.
That's actually a really good point you make.
Back home, I've never actually thought about that.
A MAC address. That's
an
amazing point there.
I
A
know
lot
that
of the
either.
devices, they have this MAC address. It's almost like a serial number, I guess, and it's unique as well. So
out on the street themselves. This must be a boon to investigators.
It's a big boon for investigators. It basically has helped solve the majority of crimes that are committed without the known suspect known to police.
So that's why, yeah, the
basically
car's gonna
what
fuck
police
them
are
over.
able to do is, as you alluded to before, they're able to go out and get ring cameras. They're able to ask for videos. Everyone is shooting all the time on their phones. They're taking selfies.
Yeah, just like the couple that got that man right there.
Captured, and people look back on their phone in the next couple weeks as they see.
I'm telling you, 2 months from now, they find him and have him and question him and are through with everything. This is going to be like the most complete investigative story we've ever seen on TV, probably.
By the side of the street.
Like, probably it's better than anything the New York Times is posted. Because
I mean,
you have like
is so miraculous
almost every detail of them, between not only from their point of view, but from other people's point of view.
I don't think he's really into technology like that. But yeah, I mean, and I've seen floating around the whole,
ATM cameras. Yeah, they'll catch them
the
too.
burner phones, And
they probably are monitoring Brian's mother's phone.
Whatever. It offers a little bit of things, but if you have like an ISP, they know you're connected. They might not be able to see exactly what you're doing, but if the company gets subpoenaed, I mean, I'm sure if the feds want to go and subpoena, they're going to give up your information. Probably they claim not to have stuff on logs, but I mean, I don't know, man. It's definitely not 100% safety or anonymity.
Dash cams, cell phones, laptops, business and home surveillance, traffic cameras, toll cameras, license plate readers, ATM cameras, credit card history. And that's just kind of off the top of my head. So let's hope.
Yeah, I feel like anything digital you can't do anymore.
You're
like
on Candid Digital something.
Yeah.
Tom Ruskin, it's good to see you, my friend. Thank you for doing this tonight.
Ashley,
or any cameras where his
thanks again.
phone
that
pings
was
will
really
probably get
too.
looked at.
I had never thought about the Apple Watch. I didn't even know those.
Oh, they do track you. Apple Watches do track you.
Tori, somebody sent me this.
I'm wearing one right now too.
My theory: they do know where they do know Brian Laundrie is in the reserve. Set up cameras yesterday in the west side of the reserve. Now they moved to the east side to try to push him back to the west side to catch him on the camera. I don't know. Somebody said that.
That's speculation. We don't know about all
Twitter.
this.
I wanted to show you guys too really quickly. A couple people had sent me this. And this is the whole Mexico.
But that is genius if he's just running around in the reserves. When they really can't catch him, but I don't believe so.
The picture we have was like blurred out. It does look similar in a way, I don't know. But again, all the white bald guys, I've seen memes popping up yesterday too. Some of them were kind of funny.
Yeah, bro.
All the bald white guys are on high alert.
I'm just stay inside.
Not safe anywhere in any country.
A screenshot of the 360 camera.
I've seen a lot of different things too, man. A lot of blurry images. It's really hard to tell. I mean, some people are doing a good job enhancing things. See attached FBI press release on the same time as warrant. I didn't get an attachment with that.
You guys think that the lawyer can be charged?
And then we'll take some calls through the super
chat. I actually start doing that. I have a call hotline. Waiting, but I'm going to get more people in the chat. I appreciate everyone. Please leave a like and subscribe. Let me grow my page. This is Icknell's playlist. Basically, every event. Even like the stuff he does debunk. Let's have the search warrant. Witness report. Read this witness report.
Hey, it's Mel, and I wanted to read you guys this Moab City Police Department statement from the witness that called 911. It's interesting. It has a little bit of more details.
Stated on the 12th.
And we caught this at the end of the previous live stream. Thanks for everybody that came. I just wanted to make a standalone video. And there's a lot going on behind the scenes. There should be more stuff coming later today.
So let's see.
4:30 p.m. Chris, which is the witness on the other report that we saw, I, Chris, have given the following statement to officers of the Moab City Police Department freely, voluntarily, and this is just a bunch of formalities.
So that's about like 4:30 in the afternoon.
At approximately 4:30 p.m., I arrived at Moonflower while standing on the south side of the street.
That's why I
observed a man and a woman appeared to have some sort of dispute. They were talking aggressively at each other and something seemed off. At one point, they were sort of fighting over a phone. I think he...
Where's his team, man?
I'm not sure if that says May.
His hairline's terrible.
May took the female's phone. It appeared that he didn't want her in the white van. He got into the driver's seat and she followed him. At one point, she was punching him in the arm and or face and trying to get into the van. At one point, she was punching him in the arm and or face and was trying to get into the van. She eventually climbed in or over him and over to the passenger seat. I heard her say, "Why do you have to be so mean?" I wasn't sure how
she does go say that in the
it was hard to tell if they were sort of play fighting.
The
but
officer.
from my point of view,
she pretended to be mean.
Something definitely didn't seem right. It was as if the guy was trying to leave her and maybe take her phone, ? Not sure, but wanted to help out. I noticed another
and like this it could also come in as evidence.
As I left the store, I
like we'll probably see that guy in the murder court proceedings because he's a witness to like previous behavior of Brian, so they can use him as a witness to be like, hey, Brian acted similarly before and it's on file 2 weeks before she disappears and is found dead.
So check this out. You guys comment below what you think about this. It seems to be a contradiction from what we just read.
County Sheriff's Office. Were you able to get a description of the intoxication? Hi, can you hear me, sir? Yeah, I can hear you. Hi, I'm calling. I'm right on the corner of Main Street by Moonflower, and we're driving by, and I'd like to report a domestic dispute. Florida with the white van, Florida license plate, white land, gentleman, about 5'6" beard. They just drove off. They're going down Main Street. They made a right onto Main Street from Moonflower. Or what were they doing? But what do you say? What were they doing? We drove by and the gentleman was slapping the girl. He was slapping her? Yes, and then we stopped. They ran up and down the sidewalk. He proceeded to hit her, hopped in the car, and they drove off.
So that's
now,
on
I don't know. Maybe this
written
is two
report.
Different people that saw what was going on, because in the report it says another person called 911. You know, was this both Chris or were these two different like?
Well, if there's another person, that's two witnesses right there.
And Chris did call 911, but somebody else also called. I don't know. Either way, it seems to be a little bit contradictory. And I thought that report was pretty significant. We covered it at the end of the last live stream. And that live stream from earlier, it was jam-packed with information right from the start. So if you go check it out, you're going to get a lot of details, things that we crossed off, things that we talked about, all the updates. John Walsh, the supposed sighting that now, which I wanted to talk to you about again, just to reiterate and put it out. To be clear, this statement is from county regarding the photo from earlier. This has nothing to do with what happened in Northport, okay? So this photo here, county sheriff.
Oh, snap. This is the motel where
and welcome back
they stayed after the traffic stops.
By Joseph Morris about
Julia
the
Bella.
Gabby Petito case. And if you
Yeah, that's probably everybody's what's it called
go ahead and hit that
current guess
subscribe
right
button
now.
below and ring the bell for
Parents
notifications.
definitely helped him.
Now, I have
Burner
to be
cash.
completely honest with
Yeah.
everybody here. I
Drove
wasn't
him out
able to
most
actually
definitely.
watch the body cam in full. Probably because of my own personal
Eric
reasons.
Robert
I'm just
Rudolph. I actually
not
don't know
one to
about him.
really
Let me
watch those things. I find them very hard to watch. I've only ever
educate
seen
myself.
clips. So forgive me if this is actually in the body cam footage. But
And
I
pretty soon
found
I'll start taking
out that
calls,
there's,
and I want to hear your
you can actually
guys' like
see inside
theories
the
or what do you
motel
have,
that
what do you
Brian
have to
Laundrie
say
stayed
about
at.
this.
So
But probably not for like
Gabby
another
Petito's
10
fiance, Brian
10 minutes.
Laundrie, stayed at a
Stay tuned.
$78
Please
a
hit that
night
like and
motel
subscribe button. I
after
appreciate
police
all of you guys.
following a call about domestic violence. So
Eric.
staff at it's called the Bowen Motel in Moab, Utah, confirmed that the 23-year-old had stayed at the accommodation after police took him there on August 12th. So if you remember correctly the case here, a 911 call came in, a report about a domestic dispute at a grocery store called the, it was a co-op. And one of the workers there actually ended up being murdered with her newlywed wife shortly afterwards. And more on that in a bit, but August 12th is a really important date here. According to the motel, the police do not have an arrangement set up with them, but that it was a last minute arrangement. So I think the way policing works, and even though I'm not too sure about this, you can actually have arrangements with motels to house people that need to be separated. So, you know, Gabby is having a massive breakdown, and Brian basically was all buddy-buddy with the cops and made him out to seem
1996 Olympic bomber. Yeah, I'm on the FBI website.
Husband. And just the way he manipulated that entire situation, they actually took pity on him. So let me just reiterate that. Gabby was the one in hysterics, crying, breaking down, and having a full-on meltdown. And she was the one left to stay in the van. Sorry, my head is shaking. I'm so into this. Welcome to live streams. She was the one that had to stay in the van while he got the creature comforts of the motel. And I mean, if you want to talk about fairness issues, I think that's such a problematic thing. Also, I found in the clip of the body cam footage that the police were using very leading questions. They were asking, oh, so you hit him, right? You hit him, right?
What?
Anybody that knows any sort of interrogation.
It's Rudolph, dude, just had everything packed and ready to hide. So, yeah, Brian could just be like Eric Robert Rudolph. This whole bomber that we just searched up. See, what did you call him? Eric Rudolph? Yo, he was there for like years before ever getting caught. I don't know about years, but he was at least a year, they said. He largest manhunt in U.S. history. That's the real question. This is the dumpster. Yeah, they found him scavenging for food outside of a dumpster. I'm like, that's just
doing rounds, going about fanatic, that he...
Watch all this. Brian is a hiker, and a friend of his said Brian spent 3 months there. Holy crap. Yeah, he is a hiker. Yeah. But the reserves? Like, I can understand like, Wyoming. But the reserves? That's different. You have to coexist with other animals now.
To the Smoky Mountains, God's country.
So,
awe-inspiring, created by God.
I'm sure if we go...
A lot of equipment, a lot of gear. They're there for something.
It was basically us right now.
Helicopters, planes. We're seeing massive amounts of military air traffic. Grenade launchers, massive artillery.
What?
They're not civilian weapons. These are weapons of war. We've seen weapons like this used at Waco. It's virtually unchecked. I mean, the money that they're spending there is absolutely unreal.
Oh, you live in Florida? Wow.
That's what you've got over there is a bunch of
Thanks
guys
for tuning in. I really appreciate it, Julie.
Yeah, I think they're dealing with occupied territory in Andrews. And the people of the country are
do you want to be our first caller on? I'd love to hear what you have to say about this whole situation. I'm gonna open the line right now, actually. I'll answer on here and just talk to you about everything that's going on. Definitely no problem. Thanks for tuning in. Anything to help speed up this search and bring more awareness to it. many people are there? I mean, people want to hear, Julie. Just anything. You have a better understanding of what's like down there and in your community versus me in Philadelphia. I only know what I hear from the news. You know, probably people who've like, you probably know friends of theirs or family friends or something. I'd be with my lawyer too if I thought I was going to jail.
After he was indicted by a federal grand jury. And Amy, this indictment comes after officers spent another day searching thousands of acres of swampland for any sign of Brian Laundrie. Fox 35's Amanda McKenzie joins us live now in studio this morning with the very latest fascinating story and case this is. Amanda.
Oh yeah, I forgot. There's a huge ass bounty on Brian's head now. Norfolk. Yeah, yeah, I think everyone agrees with you on that. They definitely should have started like a 24-hour watch Brian cam before he left. But now I'm just looking at the not an empty home, but like just the home of the parents. And it's only the parents leaving to go see the lawyer come home and doing anything else.
They're focusing right now trying to find him and trying to find the pieces of the puzzle that lead Brian to be responsible for her death. And until they find him, they're going to keep him as a person of interest. And staying as a person of interest, once they find a piece of evidence that links him to the death of Gabby, then they will probably change him a person of interest to he won't be a person of interest anymore. He'll be a suspect in this case.
And we've got a lot
Is he still a person of interest? They've only issued.
Screen, obviously, some rain coming down there. In this
I guess
moment,
it's because we have to jump through so many hoops to make sure someone is the killer that we can't do this with. God damn. Like it takes. Well, female lawyer. Good for her. It takes a lot to like.
Is quote well equipped.
I don't even know. Like, okay, it sounds like he could be back here right now and just get off on bond for the credit card fraud charges.
These mountainous terrains before by himself, and he certainly can do it again as this manhunt enters its 5th day.
So I believe that probably
he is a person of interest, but persons of interest don't. You can't lock up a person of interest. Like you can't officially arrest someone who's just only a person of interest. So which means they have nothing to make it stick to him. Everything they have is just, I guess, speculation. Hey Elizabeth, thanks for tuning in. Appreciate it. Leave a like and subscribe if you want to see more of this.
This had been going on for a while, which evidence they have now that she was in a restaurant, that they were asked to leave, and she was fighting. So there's something seated in this event that transpired prior.
He did after the demise. How did the lawyer know that? Yeah, I saw another video about that. It's like how did... But I think he...
the morning of August the 27th, later that day,
they said they should highlight his statement because he did say it only occurred after her demise, which we should have never known when she died, because I'm pretty sure that's not public info. We've only just been speculating. So, I mean, either the lawyer misspoke or he knows something and it's just helping.
Where is that leading you?
Well, again, there's something that was going on with them that they were discussing, or something that was wrong between their relationship. So this was not just a random fight that just came up on the day that they were stopped by law enforcement. This had been going on. There's something that's transpired.
I'd be real annoyed if Brian killed himself. I think him and half the world, because we all want answers about why. Like, basically, just why. What were you guys arguing about that led to this? Like, how... Because regardless of whatever they were arguing about, it's probably too petty to have gone how far it did go. But it can certainly be a learning lesson for others. But just killing himself, I think no one really learns a lesson here. I mean, some do, probably
They took a lot of evidence
just
out
don't
of
do
the
this. But
house.
what real
And
lesson is
something
learned?
in
Like,
that
I don't
evidence
know.
they took out of the house may
She
lead them
died.
to
He
change
ended up killing himself. There's really no
sorts of
justice
interest to a
served.
suspect if they can launch him to be the one, in fact, that caused the death of Gabby.
TJ, real quick,
Yeah, I
got to think
think his traits point to more of a runner than a suicidal person. If he wanted to commit suicide, he probably would have done it back on the West Coast. Or some could say maybe he just went to see his parents before he went. I mean, yeah, I don't know. I guess. I don't know their whole relationships.
He did go on that camping trip just before he disappeared. So
They're staying quiet so they don't go to jail.
came back either. TJ Ward.
They definitely don't want to be, what's it called, implicated in any of this. Even though they are, he came back to their house and hung out with them before he mysteriously disappeared again. And got reported missing. Come on. Come on. I mean, they're just playing it. If I were on their side, like, they're probably doing the best to just stay out of jail. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I think they're up in, like, the millions. Oh, they said they've already spent like 1.2 million trying to find him.
They were here in Orlando yesterday.
But
That's right, Danielle and
earlier
Amy. Yes,
in a
all
different
these
chat, someone
parents were here
said
to meet with their
Florida
attorney. It's
people
not
don't
clear
pay
what
state
they
taxes,
spoke
so I'm
about
not
or
sure
why they
how
went to
this is all
Orlando.
getting
The
paid for.
indictment against their son, now labeling him a federal fugitive, only
Yeah,
reveals a sliver of information in the case. It says he committed fraud by using a debit card that he allegedly was unauthorized
I don't know. I feel like
to
if the
use.
parents
It
still
says he
knew,
took out at least
he's probably
$1,000
long
and that the
gone
money
from
moved
wherever the
across state
parents.
lines.
He would have told his
Gabby Petito's
parents.
last text from her phone was sent August 27th. The indictment says the card
Oh
was
man,
used
living the
on
rest of your life
30th,
by
and he
yourself, bro,
returned
is kind
home
of
sometime on September
to be
1st.
born for
The
that.
indictment
Be a
doesn't
hermit,
specify if
basically.
it was Gabby's
Casey
card,
Anthony's
but
parents
legal
all
analyst
over again.
Anthony Rickman suspects that for it to become
I think
part
they
of an
found
indictment
Casey
in this
Anthony's
case,
daughter's body,
prosecutors are
though,
trying to
didn't
establish
they?
a timeline.
And they found blood in like the back of her truck that matched her daughter. I still don't know how she got off of that.
While he's using that card, that's going to help law enforcement.
16 agencies have sent 75 officers into the swamp of eastern Sarasota County to search 25,000 acres
officers.
of Carlton Reserve. Laundrie's Mustang had been there before his parents said he went hiking. Once he is found, the arrest warrant says he will go before a U.S. magistrate. The Laundrie family attorney said that the charge he faces is for something that occurred after Gabby's death. In cases like these, it is common for agencies to charge someone with a lesser crime to get them in custody while they build a bigger case on more serious charges. We are still awaiting the official autopsy results for Gabby Petito. Live in the studio, Amanda McKenzie, Fox 35 News.
All right.
You guys seen like the songs he listened to on the Spotify on his way back home? So weird. He listened to this song supposedly after she went missing. If you look at his Spotify. You see the book he was reading, but it was about what's it called? Women dying? Oh, that's weird. And song selection, everything about this man is weird, bro. Back to the Brian Laundrie. No.
If you have a boat. But we've always thought that, me and a friend of mine, that there's got to be some.
My theory is
east towards Wyoming, maybe saying that they were heading
20G bound. That's what we need, if anything, you know.
Service might be a way to misdirect things.
Shoot, someone said $100,000 on Brian Laundrie.
I just wanted to put that out there because
that would definitely motivate a lot more people to go find him
elsewhere.
So Yosemite Gulch.
Oh, where is? How can you see his likes on Insta? I didn't know. I know like some stuff he's liked because people have been creeping on him.
Okay. All right, thanks, man. I appreciate that call. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
I know. You can still see what other people like.
Bye.
I'm gonna try to look that up on the map. If somebody can type it out or send it, or if somebody has the GPS thing, but I'm gonna look for it while we take calls. 519. How you doing? Where you calling from?
This guy's taking calls. I feel like I should be taking calls here.
welcome.
Nobody wants to call. What's up, guys?
Everyone keeps saying that he's in Canada. First, he's not in Canada. It's very, very hard to get here in Canada. I'm from Canada. So my theory is when the police stopped them, they said that Gabby had to go to a motel.
TikTok videos have all this I've mentioned.
He took the van.
Yeah, I should hop on that TikTok
he
wave.
went to a motel. I believe this.
Fortunately, still no TikTok.
Called each other that night. She met up with him at the motel. They got back into a big fight, and something happened. And that's when she went missing. He took the van.
You went missing 2 weeks later. Okay. Alright. That's speculation, guys. That's speculation. After the motel, they hung out for at least another 2 weeks before she went
How's the
missing.
border
I
over
just
there?
pray for the family.
The border's pretty secure, no? Or it's not?
Have 2 vaccine shots.
I don't know, man. I don't know what this is. For anyone in the area tonight. Oh yeah, there's a service for Gabby in front of Northport City Hall tonight. Thank you, Julie, for letting everyone know. Really appreciate that. No, we're not gonna see speculation here. Let's see. More on Brian Laundrie. Going to conspiracy videos, it'll blow your mind. 7 p.m. is the service for Gabby tonight in front of Northport City Hall. Thanks, Julie. On TikTok. I need to make a TikTok to watch conspiracy videos on TikTok. Today. See, Brian's Laundrie probably. Okay. The false 911 calls.
Starting at 10 with this, an emotional tribute taking place tonight in Gabby Petito's hometown of Blue Point, New York. The community lighting up the night for Gabby as they.
Oh, okay, so she's from New York and just like probably moved on down to Florida.
Those who knew the 22-year-old
Someone told me
she radiated love and light.
her and Brian met in high school. Does anyone know the truth of that? Like, when did her and Brian meet?
Been seen in more than a week now and is also wanted now by the FBI. Fox 13's Aaron Mesmer is taking a closer look at Brian's behavior leading up to Gabby's death and afterward. But first we go to Fox 13's Evan Axelbank live outside the Laundrie home in Northport. And Evan, we saw there was some police activity there earlier this evening. What was that about?
Yeah, and we have learned that the officers came here, Chris, because of the report of shots fired. That was a false report. Let's show you what it looked like when officers got here around 6:45. Dozens of officers arrived with their lights flashing. They surrounded the house, knocked, and checked the outside of the
Well,
property.
she moved to Florida to be
We
with
heard
him,
the
right?
officers start to
Okay.
ask if the address
They
of where
moved
the
to
call
Florida?
came from
They knew.
was
See, like her,
handled,
I don't know.
911
I know her
call.
mom's from
Officers
Florida.
left
I don't know
here
from
after
Florida. I
about
know
6
she's in
minutes.
Florida. And
Northport
Brian's parents are in
police
Florida.
confirmed
So I thought maybe
afterwards
she
that
met
it
him down
was
there,
a
but
false alarm,
someone said they've been
that
high
they
school.
had gotten
They
the
were high
call
school
for shots
sweethearts,
fired. Whoever
which
filed
makes it
that
kind of
report
even more
will
sad.
be under investigation.
Damn.
As far as the search for Brian Laundrie goes, we have learned that his lawyer said that
And
his
moved in
parents
with
were
his
concerned
parents.
that before he
Okay.
went into the swamp,
Damn.
he might hurt himself. Northport police swarmed.
Still searching for this man. Probably gonna be searching for him tomorrow too. Oh, they have a live look at the house. Where was this, like 3-4 weeks ago?
8 on your sides, Christine McClarty joins us live at Brian's parents' home in Northport. A lot of activity there yesterday, Christine.
Hey, good morning, Evan. That's right. Police officers with lights and sirens rushing to the Laundrie house here with reports of gunshots, but
Like literally, come on, we could have done this like 3 weeks ago. If it's not illegal to do it now, we should have done it when he was like, "Yo, where is she at?" There's nothing on here but just grass, and you get to literally see the sun move as time goes on in the shade. Her parents still live in it. They were high school sweethearts. Okay, even more sad, even sadder. Done. Let's hear.
Hi, my name is Miranda Baker, and on August 29th, my boyfriend and I picked up Brian at
What happens if they stop?
National Park at 5:30 at night at Coulter Bay.
I'm
hoping
I
this
don't
can
know.
help someone identify him because
See, at some point they're gonna have to say it's a lost cause. So I don't know if there's like a number that they hit. And it's like this is too expensive, or it's like it's been too many days.
Piece together different parts of this case.
Like how
We picked him up at
far
Coulter Bay,
can one
like I said,
person
at
just
5:30.
last on their own
He
in there?
approached us asking us for a ride because he needed to go to Jackson, which we were going to Jackson that night. So I said, hop in. He hopped in the back of my Jeep. We then, proceeded to make small talk. But before he came in the car,
He'll
he
get caught
offered
in
to
the
pay
ear.
us like
I mean, if he's still alive, definitely down the line he'll get caught. He'll need human assistance again at some
kind of
point.
weird. He then told us he's been camping for multiple days without his fiance. He did say he had a fiance, and that she was working on their social media page back at their van. Then once, in conversation, I brought up, we're going to Jackson. He freaked out. He's like, nope, I need to get out right now. Pull over. So we pulled over at the Jackson Dam, which I don't know if you know Teton Park, but it's not very far from Coulter Bay. And if this
A person with off-grid knowledge can survive their whole life.
Yeah,
Probably. I mean, we don't need cities to
where we
live.
picked him up and the whole route or whatever, and screenshots of the timestamps.
Shoot, I just know if I did something like that, I probably wouldn't last more than a week out there. Probably wouldn't last more than 2 or 3 days. So.
And then he's like, okay, I'm just gonna go find someone else to, hitchhike. And we're like, okay.
Shoot, I don't think I probably would have made it out there. I probably would have just given up.
So when we picked him up, he was wearing a backpack. He had a long sleeve, pants, hiking boots.
He's definitely on the run, Kayla.
He had scruff.
We just don't know where.
But he didn't look dirty. For someone who was camping for multiple days, he didn't look dirty. He didn't smell dirty. So that part was kind of weird.
I appreciate everyone watching right now. Please leave a like and subscribe.
This helps someone.
You guys are making my day.
Remember seeing him or, something like that.
Yo, especially in somewhere where there are alligators, bro. I'm walking right now. I'm going to jail. I'm going to jail. I'm not running from it now. I'm not even going to attempt it, bro. I'm just going to jail.
Jackson. So that's why I said yes to giving him a ride. But you think any good hiker would know south and north. We were going south out of the park when he said he was camping north. He had told us that him and Gabby were not camping on a regulated campsite through the national park, that they were camping basically out in the middle of nowhere.
Details. This is nice.
Snake River.
Snake River. This is key information before she could even find out.
Along Snake River.
Oh well.
when, like, looking at his backpack, it wasn't full. And he said all he had was a tarp to sleep on, which you think if you're going camping for days on end, you'd want food,
Yeah.
a tent, and he had none of that. And like I said, he looked clean and didn't. So this is
I don't know what he's trying to do. Like, say if you kill her, what is this point for? Why do you hitchhike?
At the park.
It's definitely to do something with her phone, I feel like.
This dam right here. Then at the dam, we dropped him off at this little turnout, and he said he was going to walk across the street to the parking lot, which was full of people, to continue hitchhiking and look for a ride, because he freaked out when I said Jackson Hole.
3 months back, I can understand him living out in the reserves. It's just the whole evading police part, because nobody's probably prepared for that.
Right when he got out of the car, saying I was okay because she was freaking out. This is at the park, or at the pickup location, and we were taking a shower. We then walked across, and our car was parked on the left side of the picture, and he talked to us like right in the middle. And he was talking to my boyfriend the entire time, but like I was the one actually talking, and he was like not frantic, and he was very nice, very polite to us. I just want to reiterate.
It might be like a sociopath or something, bro.
You guys, I've already told the FBI, I've told the detectives, I am actively.
Investigators began searching the Colton Reserve last Saturday. But
New details on Brian's chances of survival.
Brian Laundrie continues. Joining us now with the latest information is Fox's Charles Watson. Charles, good morning.
If it wasn't for that girl coming forward, yeah. Because I think in my earlier podcast, we did like a Google Earth search of where her body was versus where like her hitchhiking trip took place, and it's around her body, like kind of really around.
I can tell you we've been out here for a couple of hours so
I don't know.
far, and we
it's mind-boggling, but I don't understand what Brian was trying to do
so it's not clear
by hitch. Like, what's the point of the hitchhike, right? That's another question. Because he had her van and keys and money. He didn't need a hitchhike. He could have just got rid of the body and dipped. So I'm really still wondering what was going on there.
A bit challenging to track down the 23-year-old. Brian's lawyer confirms to the New York Post that Brian left home without his phone and his wallet before he disappeared in the 25,000-acre nature reserve on September 14th. Despite that, police say their motivation is as strong as ever. They're using everything.
Yo, if this brings up nothing, bro, you have to. Can't charge the fucking parents. That's so. I hate. Let's say, right? They check the reserve, call quits, and this man's in Mexico. Can you charge the parents then? Because I feel like the reserve is not Mexico, and it seems like they just, said that so he could get away. Could we make a case for that or nah? Yeah, I'm like, you gotta prove the parents lied, but then you gotta prove that the parents knew they were telling. I don't know.
Past the public comments they've already made. So a lot of questions right now, but we do know that authorities expect to be back out here today searching for Brian Laundrie. Brian?
It's a nice house.
No real updates from the Laundrie family.
Probably gonna get sold within this year. So I mean, for all those property people looking to buy a nice house in Northport, 4343.
The Laundrie family attorney tells us that the parents
definitely want to live here after. Yo, there's no way they could stay there.
And then they quickly returned back home. We also saw them earlier that day go to the Northport Police Department and retrieve the silver Mustang that we saw the FBI tow from the family home.
What's it called? This guy was saying how fugitives not typically, but they can escape to Mexico and just start selling drugs down there. It's not hard. Once you leave the country, you're straight. You don't get robbed, I'd assume. I feel like that's just my mindset going into a foreign country. Gotta know where you are, But I'm pretty sure you'll be alright. in that thing, the camper, they took the camper.
Begin searching the culture.
That's what you're talking about.
No
This
real
thing,
update.
they definitely took the camper.
Well, earlier
You want
today,
to survive with the cartel? Yeah, if he can't get across the border to do anything for them, well, I mean, probably not. But I mean, physical labor is still physical labor, you know? You could always use a body for something. Especially if, like, they're dependent upon you and can't do anything, you know? That's even better. In, like, the cartel's eyes, he needs them. So they could just use him however they need. Or just anyone that would come across him, because he's a fugitive. He needs help. This girl also, I'm pretty sure she saw them at the restaurant. Okay, well, she just gave out.
Or if they make any sense. I'm just like freaking out right now. I'm having like I remember this had to have been right before she died. So she walks out, she's upset, she's crying, and he's like more angry. Like you could tell like it's more sadness for her, and she's crying for some reason. I don't know if she was embarrassed or what, because I don't know. I couldn't hear. I don't know what was going on. I could just see
physical labor for a guy
unfolding.
that's vegan and killing.
So she's standing on the
True.
sidewalk,
She's standing
on the sidewalk crying.
Wait. What's the?
But then,
I mean,
right away turns around, walks right back in.
I don't know.
He's, you know, kind of like
I don't know.
violently like talking to the hostess, and you could tell he's angry.
You don't have to be the strongest of guys to just do
kind of like doing the whole
physical
like,
labor all day.
like,
You
sorry,
just gotta
like, we don't know what to tell you kind of thing. You
give
could
them
tell he
work all day.
He wouldn't drop it, whatever it was. He wouldn't drop it. He walked out. He walked back.
Yeah, but I don't see him doing that, especially after her story about him.
Just to kind of make a scene and just to get his point across.
He seems petty.
Like sorry, like we don't know what to tell you kind of thing. You could tell he was relentless. He wouldn't drop it, whatever it was. He wouldn't drop it. He walked out. He walked back in the restaurant probably 4 more times.
See?
Just to kind of make a scene and just to get his point across, which, you know, I don't know what that was. I really don't know what happened, but she just apologized. I think she was telling him, like, come on, like, just drop it, let's go. And she, like, looked at the hostess and she was just like, I'm sorry. And that was it. And it's just like a...
It's possible, Caleb.
I don't even know. I don't even have words right now. It's just weird. It's crazy. And I would have never remembered that. I would have never, like, I was so obsessed with the case.
Why would you leave the country?
And like,
because he's wanted.
I didn't really think for the longest time at the fact that we were in
What?
Wyoming at the same time as them. Like, it didn't even cross my mind. And that story of like a couple fighting in a restaurant or that, you know, that situation, I would have never thought of that. Like I said, Matt, he just has this like.
Oh wow! Wait, what? You know, like, I mean, you don't personally know them, but you've seen them before, Julie. That's crazy. That, I don't know, it'd be kind of
I'm 1,000% positive it was
chilly. Let's end chills across my
I
back.
think it sounds crazy. Like,
See people
I
on,
agree,
like,
it sounds crazy to me too.
being at work,
I'm
just
still
on
in shock.
national
Like,
news.
I can't believe that this happened. I can't believe that we not only like saw them, like we didn't just see them walking on the street, like we witnessed an incident, like a whole like ordeal.
There's a lot that remains still here a mystery when it comes to Gabby's death. Brian Laundrie's own suspicious disappearance, of course.
Still speculation. Oh wait, did they say Northport? Police under fire. Ah, damn. Damn. Hold on here. Cause I do want, like, does anyone commenting why they didn't, like, keep watch of this guy? I guess they just never thought it'd blow up into the way it did blow up. But still, you kind of, if that's the case, then you did underplay it or drop the ball, so to speak. But I guess they won't. It's not typical to watch someone 24/7 if they're involved in a missing person. Saying that didn't even sound right. Like, why when someone's involved in a missing person's case, you're just gonna, you don't got no body, no problem. It really took for them to like find the body to be like, oh, okay, let's go. What's it called? Bring this guy in officially without him just saying we don't want to talk to you. That's the bad part. Like, damn, you have to wait till you found her body to be like, okay, without like cause of him killing her, like, and you can't arrest him. We can at least bring him in, and he can't say no. Otherwise, it'd just add fuel to a fire. I don't know. Monica Liggins. Sorry, Monica. What would you like to talk about? Here, let me dump this number. I'll take any calls. I want to hear what you guys have to talk about. We'll be live on here. Just down. Been on this for like all day.
Both people are arrested. They go to jail, and you
This
have
is
to
what's
see
it
the
called, the
judge
domestic
before you
violence
can get out. And they start them in
incident,
classes the next
where
week.
someone said they
Not
should
in the
have.
class,
Ooh, someone's
they pick
calling.
you up and you go back to jail. So it's like serious here, you know, and what they do. But you're talking about
Hey, hello.
the Grand Teton, you know.
To accept, press 1. To send a voicemail, press 2.
How do I? Hello. Hey, can you hear me?
Hello.
Hey, what's up? Can I have your name for the chat?
I can't hear you.
Hello, can you not hear me? Am I muted? I don't believe so.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, can you not hear me?
Jasmine.
Jasmine. What's up, Jasmine? What do you have to say today? You might.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can definitely hear you. I think you could only hear me through the stream. Sorry about that.
So I was just wondering, do you really believe the parents are helping him?
I don't know if they're helping him, but they're not helping to solve this investigation faster, which is a problem. So it's like, by not helping, you're kind of still helping, you know? It's like the bystander effect. I witness a crime, but if I do nothing to help, I don't know, solve it, it's like the same thing. You're helping that person escape or get off.
Yeah, totally. But what's the time frame when the police separated Gabby and him? Like, when did they meet up again? They never really talked about that.
They supposedly the night after he spent that like night at the motel, Gabby came back and they left together. I did watch a video on it earlier. Oh, this isn't it. Okay, any other callers? Still going. Can't just leave work like that. Yeah. So what was it? The Moab police that got him? Let's just, I guess, follow up on that since there's still questions. The audio. Someone said that they should have, what's it called? Arrested one of them.
That took place, and you're obviously showing signs of the strikes. Do you mind if I take pictures of the injuries that you sustained? I know it's not super severe.
There are new developments in the Gabby Petito case. The city of Moab announcing today there will be an investigation into how the police department handled its interaction with
sorry if I
Petito
misspoke.
and Brian Laundrie.
That's what I meant to say, Julie. That he spent the night in the hotel / motel. She spent the night in the van, and they got back together in the morning.
Fox 13 News investigative reporter Nate Carlisle joins us live in studio to explain why the Petito case is under review. Nate.
In a statement, the city says it isn't aware of a breach of protocol when police questioned Petito and Laundrie about a possible domestic assault on August 12th, but a formal investigation will take place.
See, so someone at least acknowledges that this shit's not right. Even if it's no one's fault.
Utah law says that when peace officers have reasonable cause to believe a domestic assault has occurred, they must cite or arrest the aggressor. While the report released by Moab police said an officer determined Petito was the aggressor, she was not charged or cited. Officers did help Laundrie so he could find a motel and stay away from Petito for the night.
I don't have anything.
What is this doing here? Is it electric or what's going on? There's been other concerns about protocol at Moab Police. In March, Fox 13 told you about how prosecutors dismissed a drug case after a Moab officer's written report didn't match the camera footage. That officer later resigned.
I don't give a if he wanted to stay in there. He's like 6 years old, dude.
Then last month, a judge dismissed a child abuse case in part because the Moab police didn't capture the entire episode with their cameras.
Oh my god, bro.
The statement from Moab
Yeah,
Police
it kind of
Chief
does feel like
says
we all
that
failed
unaffiliated
her.
law enforcement will conduct the review of the interaction between Petito and Laundrie. In studio, Nate Carlisle, Fox 13 News, Utah.
Dennis Franks is a retired FBI agent who spent 22 years with the agency. He has also worked in...
Let's see what they haven't. The family hasn't spoken on anything since they found the body. I'm pretty sure. Appreciate you, Amanda. Thanks for the view. Damn, this is loud.
The 11th or 12th, but they're lying to police and telling them that he left on the 14th. There's a lot of talk online with emotions running very high right now, and people are angry about different things that have gone on during the case. There are people angry about the August 12th domestic incident in Utah. There are people upset that Brian could just seemingly walk out of his house and go into hiding. People wondering why no one was put on his house to watch.
See, like, I think it's weird because it's like, if I didn't do anything, but we gotta think inside the mind of like a killer here. It's not weird. He's definitely just covering his tracks here. Like maybe the murder wasn't premeditated, but everything from after the murder on was definitely meticulously thought out. It seems like.
Is it possible he...
What if it was self-defense by Brian?
And left on the 11th or 12th, but
You're like the only person that thinks this. Nah, it's not a dumb question. It's just no one else thinks this.
Surrounding a lot of this, and
how do you? Come on, self-defense? Like, come on.
That's not what I'm referring to when I say this. Brian's family's choices, in my opinion,
Like to be involved. Chat. No chance. No, I definitely do not ignore my subs. I appreciate each and every one of you.
Under the current circumstances, I
turn off the video. I got you.
Reasonable to think that he's probably going to go.
Appreciate you, Amanda.
So, as a parent, I just think it's interesting that they can just let him go and then not report anything to law enforcement for 3 days. There's been
it's interesting and surprising to all of us because we're not inside the mind of a killer or someone who friend or family of someone we love that just killed someone. You know, it's like a hard, what's it called, path to choose. Do you help the killer that you love, or do you turn them in?
Brian's mental state and the domestic violence incident of August 12th.
Hey, what's up, Eddie from upstate New York?
We have very limited information on Brian prior to the trip at this point. We have one friend
a lot more than they're telling.
Florida, and
you and me, Thomas, you and me too. Definitely think the same.
And at some point began having these episodes where he was hearing voices. Of course, we have to take this on its own merits because we don't have any solid verification on that.
Yeah, how did they? Yeah, how? Like, okay, that's true too. Like, you got a lawyer before the cops even started to question you, bro. So, I mean, the parents did say that they did text Brian's parents about their missing child, and when they got no response, they went to the police. So they kind of did know that this was coming. It's not, it's surprising to us, but it's like if you're them and inside the mind of the killer. Okay. It's not surprising to you.
I'm right on the corner of Main Street by Moonflower, and we're driving by, and I'd like to report a domestic dispute in Florida with the white van.
I mean, the best domestic violence isn't new, but still, we gotta learn to, I guess, identify it and do our best to, I guess, resolve it.
What'd you say? What were they doing? We drove by and the gentleman was.
I need to track for our Apple Watch.
Slapping her?
He's wearing it at the gas station.
They ran up.
Ah, how do you know this, Cynthia?
Proceeded to hit her, hopped in the car, and they drove off.
Are you watching Ikid Mel too? I heard him say something about an Apple Watch.
White van. I can give you the license plate if you give me 1 sec. I took a picture of it.
What kind of white van? Like a big one?
I mean, I'm sure if any family members probably went to go see Brian, they're definitely going to get caught up in this. Like, there's no hiding the fact that you traveled cross country. Like, this, you'd leave too much of a digital footprint too.
Black ladder, passenger side. White Ford Transit. White Ford Transit. Okay, what's your name? And where did they? So they headed south on Main Street. You're right there by the post office. Turned onto Main Street. They went north.
The witness ran and trying to get it in the
all
van,
this.
and that it appeared to him that Brian was trying to take the phone, and I thought that was
Inside.
Some days I have really bad OCD, and I was just cleaning and straightening up the back of the van before.
I'm definitely gonna search up this Apple Watch.
I'm sorry that I'm so mean.
Another.
Yeah, see, like in the police report, I shouldn't have skipped it. She did say, "Sorry, I'm so mean," but when the guy said, he overheard them say, "Why do you have to be so mean?" I'm pretty sure he said the girl said it to him.
That Brian was trying to take the phone and the van.
I heard her say, "Why do you have to be so mean?" So it's like, isn't that a common characteristic of like domestic situations? She'll take the blame when the police arrives.
Some days I have really bad OCD, and I was just cleaning and straightening up the back of the van before, and I was apologizing to him and saying, I'm sorry that I'm so mean.
Another disturbing sign of how things were going was the comparison of their van from the beginning of the trip, when we see it in videos, to how it looks when they get pulled over by the police on August 12th.
Yeah. And that's another thing inside the, what's it called? Inside the restaurant where the witness said that he was going off. She did say that Gabby tried to like squash everything and apologize.
And that he was getting in,
but he wasn't having it.
Feet, that was stressing her out. But then you look at the van, and in my opinion, that's another example of the minimization of what's really going on. These two clearly had two very different agendas and two different sets of priorities when they set off on this trip. I personally feel that this incident on August 12th was almost a foreshadowing of what happened when she was killed.
Yeah, one could definitely say that.
Goes on, he even starts making almost passive-aggressive digs at her through his Instagram posts. Just one example is during the body cam footage from August 12th, it's very, very hot outside that day. Gabby accepts 2 bottled waters from the police, and they offer it to Brian a couple times, and he declines it both times because he doesn't like plastic water bottles. He actually tells them in the body cam footage that he doesn't like them. The next day, on August 13th, that's the last post that he makes during their trip, and I do think that's significant.
Definitely a toxic relationship.
He posts about biodegradable packaging. He goes on about the responsible things, that he eats and throws away, and then he specifically talks about plastic water bottles. Another example is, you'll notice at the beginning of their relationship, she's wearing an Apple Watch in a lot of her pictures. She's got coffee places she likes to go to. She gets her nails done. You can see she has clothes. These are all specific things that he also rails against in his post. It just
that is the Apple Watch thing, and that same
go back and look through all their posts of their accounts from the beginning of their relationship. It just seems that all of the things that Gabby likes,
I don't know about all this.
Seems to pass judgment about, and it seems to just progressively get worse throughout.
The tree doesn't require an Apple Watch. I said something about that. I was like, why does he hate Apple Watches so much?
The very day I started following this case, he's anti-Wi-Fi. He's big on not being a slave to social media. Put your phone down, enjoy the moment, which are all great things. But it's ironic because the minute they set off, Gabby is starting up a website, a YouTube channel, and she's going to be vlogging
materialism.
Entire journey.
He also seems like organics. I want to say.
Start,
He's really
All
into
of the things
organic
that he's
stuff, you know?
against is going to be the main goal
Like,
of
my
hers
girlfriend works at
during
Mom's,
the
and all they
cross-country
sell there
trip.
is organic
It's almost like it's just set
products.
up for failure. I do believe that this caused a lot of friction between the two of
Both
them.
are
And it's
culpable on
obvious
this
from the beginning
occasion.
that he's clear on what she wants to do because in the
Are you
video told
referring to
her,
like the whole van
and they
incident,
seem very excited about
Suzanne?
it. So who knows? Maybe as the trip went on, he got more and more controlling with it or resentful of it. We don't know, and I guess we're gonna just have to be patient and wait to hear more answers. But both Gabby's mother and father have confirmed that every time they talked to Gabby during the trip, things were getting progressively worse with her
Yeah.
and Brian. Please let me know in comments what you think about the incident on August 12th with the new information that we have now. And I'd also love to know what you think about the state of their van in that picture
Yeah, I feel like I'm
compared to
going
what it
around in
looked like
circles at this
earlier
point.
in the trip. Also,
Roughly 2 years ago, I got a message.
This is her friend,
on a
so
bubble from
I
two of
mean,
her friends,
let's hear it. She does have TikTok videos with her.
you seem so cool. I want to be your friend.
Scratches on the
Can we
man
be
could be a sign of
friends? And I was
a
like,
woman's
of
flirt.
course. And from there, we started hanging out every day, and it's kind of weird. To
Okay,
say that
either
public
which say
because
both did
people
hit
always
each
laugh
other,
at us for that.
which and both
But hey,
both
glad she came into my life.
parts are wrong. Yeah, killing one, it's still not like it's still come
Our
on.
favorite thing was this ice cream shop.
It's like more so you guys should learn to just leave each other rather than take whatever meaningless argument you're having out on each other. It's not.
Hanging out and talking, and she came everywhere.
It never should have to get to that point.
Joked around and said she was.
And I feel like there's some excuses being made, but there's really no excuse for like what happened to Gabby. She should have came back with him, regardless of how much they were arguing or what they were arguing about. Yeah, he's definitely a narcissist even after.
It was about the second time
Oh,
we hung
okay,
out. I
God.
went over to her house, either second or third time, and he was hanging out there, and yeah, that's when I first met him.
What was their relationship? Or what is their relationship?
On the outside, he's very charismatic, so it seems very loving, and there's no doubt in my mind that she loves him, and I know that, and from how I've always seen it, he loves her.
Unless actual self-defense.
Of course, like any
You,
relationship, there was arguments.
if you had like a real self-defense case, you'd just call the police and be like, and explain the story right then and there.
To, like, get away from it, you know, and I didn't ask much questions.
Like, you don't go all the way back home, hide, and then continue to keep running if it's self-defense. Like, you've had too many opportunities to come forward and be like, this is what happened, and then try to go fight your
within the first year, I mean,
trial in court someday.
7 to 10 times.
But to just blatantly blow it off and be like, no explanation, no excuse, it's the problem.
Well, we were supposed to go line dancing. It was ladies' night, and her drive is about 30 minutes to me. And
Yeah, her friend did actually never ever say that she physically got hit. I've never actually seen that in a video.
Didn't want her to go out, and
Did they have a gun with them? Unsure. I've heard reports that he has a registered firearm. But even so, that's only in the state that you register it in. If he's caught with that in a different state, it's like automatic time. Probably an emotional abuser. Yeah. From how often? I don't know. From these last few, what's it called, weeks of videos that we've seen, we could probably say that.
more and more arguments, and everything she did, I feel like, you know, he thought was wrong, and even as she
Sorry to hear that, Julie.
He didn't even support her with her blog, which that's not what a fiance or boyfriend does. They support you with anything you want to do, and that in itself, you know, made me feel like it just continued to get worse.
Yeah, it does sound like they were on the same page, life-wise, kind of. Like, they were hiking together, but it seems like she had different aspirations, and he didn't care for it. But just social, I don't know, social media career.
If you
It's just kind of like what I'm doing. Like, she just wanted to do this. She should be here doing this. And unfortunately, she's not.
One little thing gives us a place to start. I just wish he'd say something. If anybody knows or sees any information or thinks they have any information, please say something.
Maybe she pulled the gun on him.
You to say something. That's all we can do right now is hope that people say something. I want to find my friend.
If you disarm her of a gun, why do you kill her then? I don't know. Like, I don't think they said it was blunt force. Oh, we don't even know the cause of death. They haven't said it.
A lot of updated information there to work with.
Yeah, there's already been an autopsy done.
Who's in focus today. Forensic
And just confirmed that she died. That's it. No. I think they said maybe it's. I've only seen like maybe asphyxiation, but it's still just speculation.
National Park is hers. Meanwhile, a huge search in a 25,000-acre nature preserve in Florida once again is on the front burner in the search for Brian Laundrie, Petito's fiance. And good evening, everyone. At 6 o'clock. I'm Bill Ritter.
And I'm Liz Cho. And now that Gabby Petito's death is confirmed, the question tonight remains, where is her fiance, Brian Laundrie?
Yeah, COD is still unreleased, so I don't know how. Say if she did pull a gun on him, didn't hit him. Like how much? A gun can be pretty threatful. Don't get me wrong, but what could he have killed her with? Right then and there, she's holding the gun. It's like you probably would have had to have tackled her, disarmed the gun at some point, and then I feel like gotten mad and killed her. Or just hit, like, come on. They're out in the middle of nowhere.
He has been a person of interest in her disappearance, and now it is in her murder. The coroner out in Wyoming has ruled the manner of death homicide. The cause of death has not yet been determined, and that could take a few days. So essentially what that means is that the coroner knows that Gabby Petito was murdered. How exactly she was killed has not yet been determined. Meanwhile, this has now really turned into a manhunt here at this Carlton Reserve here in Venice. We reached out to the Laundrie family attorney for a statement on these developments about Gabby Petito being identified, about the manner of death being homicide, and he gave us a statement. It is
Yeah, the FBI guy giving that, what's it called, statement was kind of like teary-eyed.
Confirmed the remains found Sunday in Wyoming are indeed that of Gabby Petito. The manner of death was listed as homicide. The FBI said in a statement, the FBI and our partners remain dedicated to ensuring anyone responsible
almost a week ago.
or complicit in Ms. Petito's death is held accountable for their actions.
There we go.
The search continues for Brian Laundrie in a 25,000-acre reserve in Florida. It's hard work, but police know they have no choice but to do it with every
Wink news. I'm completely on the wrong.
There's a team of law enforcement personnel.
Completely might be off. Is that NBC too? Is that what you're trying to tell me to look up?
And we have breaking news in the Gabby Petito case. The FBI confirming tonight the body found at Grand Teton National Park.
WINK. Yeah, wink. News. Type in Fort Myers.
In Florida once again is on the front burner in the search for Brian Laundrie, Petito's fiance. And good evening, everyone. At 6 o'clock. I'm Bill Ritter.
Yeah, I don't know about this.
Now that Gabby Petito's death is confirmed, the question tonight remains, where is her fiance, Brian Laundrie? Investigators did a methodical search once again of that massive nature reserve near his home.
Boy is gone.
John, what advice do you have for Gabby? On the run, folks, from the law. You do not want our next guest hot on your heels. That's why it is terrible news for Brian Laundrie that John Walsh has set his sights on him. John, it's great to see you again. You had a show on Wednesday night on Investigation Discovery. It's In Pursuit with John Walsh. You covered this story, and lo and behold, as is per usual for John Walsh, the tips start pouring in. Tell me how it's going. How many and how good are they?
I will. I'll tell you, Ashley, it was amazing. But I got
Hey
to say one
everyone,
thing
please leave a
to
like and
all the
subscribe.
viewers
I
in that
appreciate
area.
everyone
Slotting
watching.
is against the law.
Thank you
It's
for
dangerous.
watching.
People get killed. Whoever called 911 to send the cops there because they heard a gunshot, they're going to trace your phone. They're going to go back to you, and you're going to do some time. So
Yeah, I think
No kidding.
they have a lot of circumstantial evidence when it comes to the murder itself, because if they knew like everything clear cut, they probably would have just issued the warrant right then and there. But I think they're still building, so you just gotta give it time.
Many people said they saw you and I
Oh,
together for a couple nights.
the
And said,
link.
you know, I watched and I got off the couch and I'm looking at this
I don't
list
think
here.
your
We
link
got about
posted in here.
500 tips, and from everywhere. People thought that they had spotted him in Portugal. You know, the world's a smaller place, and I've caught the 1,422 guys I
Hey,
caught.
Ghost Girl.
Some of them I caught in the craziest places, 45 countries. So people texted us or called in from all over Portugal.
Can you resend that link?
People are talking
Definitely
about
can't
Cuba.
find it in the chat.
The good tips, 15 tips we had was what I had said, that the dirty laundry mom and dad, and the Johnny Cochran lawyer that you talk about, Stephen Bertolino, who I hope he knows he's going to burn in hell for hiding all this stuff and giving all kinds of red herring tips to the police. He's the mouthpiece. And I know about client privilege and Fifth Amendment. I've been doing this for a whole long time, but boy, he knows a lot that he's not talking about. But anyways, many of the tips were my theory that they somehow, you know, when he got home from the trip and he didn't say anything to anybody for 10 days, this is not, and I know your lawyers are nervous, this is John Walsh's opinion, has been doing this and caught 1,400.
No, I've never heard anything about a drone finding her or anything about the rocks. I'm not even sure how they found her. I'm just, what's it called? Assume that the tip the girl gave about picking up Brian for hitchhiking led them somewhere in the area of that body.
White camper top is still in the driveway. And the neighbors who really only said it the other day,
Wink
I was waiting in line and
News?
Fox News to talk to
Is it?
Martha McCallum, and the neighbors walk out and say, you know,
Oh, winksnews.com. Okay, I get what you're saying here.
Gabby's parents filed a missing persons report.
So it's actually like a website. I thought it was on YouTube. And they appear to be thinning out in size, it looks like.
Week news staying on top of breaking news. Investigators rushing to the scene of Brian Laundrie's family home in Northport after police say someone called 911 saying shots were fired at the home. You can see the law enforcement there searching the house. Police tell us they're investigating, and it may have just been a prank. They went inside to talk to his parents. Neighbors told us they were emotional and nervous. Police went to their door and asked if they called about a disturbance. They told them no. Police looked in the yard and even went inside the house. They tell us no one was hurt and there's no evidence of shots fired in the area.
And the search to find Brian Laundrie is not over. He was the last known person to see 22-year-old Gabby Petito alive. There's also a federal warrant out for his arrest for using Petito's credit card after her death.
That is wild.
To the Carlton Reserve for
That is one thing in the...
their search.
He killed his ex-girlfriend and then took her money. That's fucked up.
In Sarasota County. Andrea, what is the latest?
That's right, Rachel. You know that just because it's the weekend, crews will not be taking the day off. You know, they've been out here again, like you said, for days searching for Brian Laundrie. And we actually know from a statement that Northport PD said last night, there will be less crews out here assisting that search today. But this is a search for Laundrie that many have decided they're going to come out here and help in any way they can. One of those people is retired wildlife tour guide.
Come on, Ghost Girl. Don't use speculation. You need to back up claims with facts.
With the nearly 70 miles of the Mayaca River near the Carlton Reserve. So let's take a listen to what he had to say.
Just wanting a little bit of closure to know what's going on, and if he is out here, you know, none of us are for certain. I know everybody's giving.
I see that the unfollowing thing, it's either he's unfollowing them, but I think more so people are blocking him because they're getting a bunch of people following them for him following them. That made any sense. They just don't want the backlash of the public because he follows them on social media. But I did notice his following numbers start to go down.
Anything that could link to Laundrie, But, you know, like he said, it's very difficult to survive out there for, again, nearly 2 weeks. You know, the bugs out here are very bad. This Florida heat, and like we know, some of those
Yeah,
areas
that's what
out
I'm
there can
saying.
get
Like
pretty
that
flooded.
Florida heat, like
I'm live
I
at the
don't know.
Carlton
You
Reserve
would
with
need
Director
water,
Gabby with the
right?
news. Now.
I mean, if you have knowledge to live off the grid, you don't really need
Tomorrow at noon in New York,
human
and her
assistance.
family members here in Southwest Florida are heading to that service. We first talked with Jill Hengel on Wednesday. She tells us she is the great aunt of Gabby. She says the family is feeling a lot of anger as they wait for answers about what happened to Gabby and where
The
Brian
Joan did see
Laundrie
her
is.
body, then the
Jill
cops
says they're
showed up.
doing
Oh,
their
damn.
best to lean on each other, but the emotions from the death of Gabby are overwhelming.
So was she buried? If there's drone footage, or since there's it seems like the drone found her. He didn't bury her. He just left the body out.
Jill also said it's her opinion that Brian Laundrie is not in the Carlton Reserve, where search teams are looking for him. She believes he's somewhere else. She also said she's left wondering if Brian's parents know more about where he might be. Again, that memorial service for Gabby Petito will be Sunday in her hometown of Holbrook, New York. It'll be from noon until 5, and it is
She
open to
wasn't
the
buried.
public.
Okay.
News News will have a crew there bringing you coverage on the
That's
final farewell for Gabby.
crazy.
Gabby's hometown in New York State held an emotional and powerful tribute to honor her memory last night. Candles and lights were put up on the edges of driveways and on stoops to honor her life. One woman says it's the least she can do for Gabby and her family.
Thanks for popping out, Julie. We really appreciate you. I'm glad to have had you on.
The great life that she had, losing her so young, and just to really celebrate her life.
The organizer wanted the Petito and Schmidt families to know that there isn't a door in the community they can't knock on during their time of grief.
Now, Gabby will be remembered this evening with a butterfly release. It'll be held on City Hall Boulevard in Northport. Following the butterfly release, there will be a candle lighting. That event starts at 7 o'clock.
Damn. They have a whole thing dedicated there. It's wild. That's wild. Well, take a little break. If you guys are feeling generous, please help me grow my channel. My Cash App's AlexJrJoseph. It's the same username as my YouTube page. Or if you don't have Cash App, my Venmo is AlexJJoseph. No R in the name. Let's get back to this. Gabby Petito. Also, please leave a like and subscribe. He sounds mixed up. Probably. They did go to the Appalachian Trail. Yeah. That would be a nice, easy place to live. Just have to, ward off bears, I guess. Probably easier said than done, but yeah. That's a lot of fucking Polaroids, bro. That's a lot of fucking Polaroids. God damn, like how do you kill her, bro? He's heartless, bro. She did wear that, what's it called, Apple Watch everywhere, yeah. Handboarding. This is the day after my birthday, July 22nd. It looks kind of cool and kind of hot at the same time. I feel like that has to be hotter than beach sand, no? Yeah, it's like that. Yeah. How far is the Appalachian Trail? And if so, I feel like you're more likely to encounter somebody on there. If so. God damn. And especially like they did go out for food. It's not like he hunted for food. He's definitely gonna have to see a human at some point if he needs to eat again, I feel. At some point, I don't know when. Or how strict his fugitive diet is. I'd probably do that before I try real what's it called? Real surfing? That's sand surfing, that's what it's probably called. Yeah, true. Someone did say, like, he could just wear a face mask. But I mean, and a cap. And just blend in with the rest of the world. It's true. He could just wear a face mask and call it Corona. You know? You wouldn't think twice. Only real identifying features on him are his beard. And if he just shaves that and wears a mask, he's just another bald white dude. He's got finger tattoos, so that's another identifier. Okay. Yeah, like what tats does he have? Could we possibly be like, oh, this is him? $8.19. Okay. I think this is like around. She talked to her dad around this time within the next few days. And they were working on the website. That's the last I think he talked to her. Those parents would definitely fail a polygraph. $8.20. Van life travels. So I think she talks to her dad the next day about setting up a a website. And I'm sure there might not be much after this because she goes like the 27th of this last time they're seen. The FBI had the 23rd up until the restaurant and a mountain on the underside of his hand. Hard to tell.
Point out that the reporter states that visibly from the sky, from the chopper, from KSL's chopper, they were able to see Gabby Petito's body.
So it
So that
probably wasn't
tells
buried.
me that the body was perhaps intact, a full human body, because that's
She could have been shot.
reporters
She
just
could have
said,
been
and I'll
shot.
back it up just a little bit so you guys can hear it.
Some people did speculate,
That's
like,
when
oh, maybe.
KSLTV's chopper crew saw what they believed to be Gabby Petito's body. We will not be showing it. KSL's Cold Podcast investigators discovered
Guys
on
about to
Thursday
link
that
up
she was using a campsite
on my
app
YouTube
called
chat.
The Dirt. She was leaving reviews on campsites and pinning locations that she was interested in, which tracked through Zion National Park, Moab, then up through the Tetons. One campsite that she pinned was inside Spread Creek.
And we ended up driving back through, saw it again.
A Florida couple was in the area at the time and discovered that
Everybody,
they had
please leave
video
a like
from
and
August
sub.
27th around 6 p.m.
You
of
guys
a
are
white
feeling
van on
extra
the side of the
generous.
road in Spread Creek.
I have my
They
Cash
brought
App
this
and
video to
Venmo
the
pinned
FBI,
at
believing
the
that
top
it
of the
matched the
chat.
description of Petito's van.
Please help grow my page.
All
Appreciate
tips led
anything.
investigators to a heartbreaking discovery. Now, as we have heard from law enforcement, they are waiting on the forensics to confirm that this is indeed Gabby Petito.
Dude, I completely forgot I was watching someone else and not that.
Our good friend Ed Wallace, but I just have one more video that I want to show you quickly, and this is just going to be the confirmatory report that was played. I'm
How
doing
else
this
am I
for our
supposed to grow my
outside
page,
of
Plant
the
Man?
United States folks, because some people don't get these reports. So let's let this report play. It's a short little clip, and I will add it in for you. There we go.
That was nice.
We have from the location that was just from early tonight at 6 p.m.
Did he say anything?
Retired New included with the 1993 World Trade Center terrorist attack and the.
He didn't say anything on that. Okay. Faith, yeah.
One guy asked, "You're not here for publicity, are you?" Right? 833 dog, or no, 833. What's his name? 833 dog. Tell me, or something like that. Let me see.
Yes.
Dog the bounty hunter is on the case. Let's go. We need Dog the bounty hunter, baby. Let's go. You guys see this video yet with Dog the bounty hunter coming up?
That dog, the bounty hunter on the Laundrie property.
In a house. I don't know what he's doing.
Breaking news.
But a lot of people are asking.
Oh my God! All right, come on.
Rest in peace to his wife. He lost his wife to cancer, I believe.
Haha, CC. Haha.
Sad, man. I really liked his wife.
Here,
That was a great
Panther
show.
Falls.
Did you guys used to watch Dog the Bounty Hunter?
God damn.
I used to love that show.
I feel like if you're out in the wild, the chances are you can probably commit a crime way easier. Less witnesses, less digital footprint. Panther Falls. Okay. Yeah. Oh, girlfriend's home. So let me put on Right.
Beat to death a 95-pound wonderful young lady.
Okay, you can't be saying that, bro.
On CNN and spilling some tea, as the kids say.
Yeah.
So let's just listen to the media.
Still speculation. I don't know if Brian Walsh, how much he knows. Or not Brian Walsh, John Walsh knows.
Beat to death a 95-pound wonderful young lady. My heart goes out to that family. It'd be great if he killed her.
But that is a specific accusation.
Have to sit there like I did and look at, you know, more photos and I mean photos of her on the.
Okay, so that is what I called this meeting on this live stream about. Basically, during her homicide, there has never been a cause of death reported.
This man's like, why? They're not answering anyone. This guy's just literally taking his time, man. His sweet old time. Sorry about that, guys. To go help my girlfriend really quick. That real dog. When's he gonna give up? He's just knocking on all the doors. That's like I didn't know at the time. I get you, CVA. I don't think anyone's opening the door for you this time, though. This probably was a publicity. Like, come on, definitely a publicity sign. I did not know people could just walk up to their door. I mean, they are normal people like you and I guess. Still not taking no questions. Like, at what point? Oh, wait, the law protects them.
Petito's family plans to lay
To
rest. The eyes of the world
This is unfair.
search for Brian Laundrie.
His home was searched by the FBI on Monday, aiming some of the focus on his parents. We wanted to know how the law can impact parents when their children are implicated in a case like this. 8 on your side investigator Walt Buteau joining us now with some insight from local defense attorneys.
And this continues to be a homicide investigation without a charge or without a suspect. And we found out the law protects parents in some cases unless they cross a legal line. Brian Laundrie's parents, Christopher and Roberta, were seen leaving their home this morning, followed by police officers. It's now been 10 days since they last saw their son, according to police, who have been searching Carlton Reserve for 5 out of the last 6 days. Tampa
It's time to give up on this one.
tells me the law did not forbid police from watching Laundrie before his parents say he went to this 25,000-acre preserve.
So we can, what's it called?
A car out in front of his house. They could have followed him if he left the house. So they didn't need to have a warrant to do that. That's just part of a criminal investigation.
While the law would not have stopped police surveillance of the 23-year-old, the Laundries are also not legally required to tell police what they know about their son's location, according to attorney Bryant Camarena.
Oh, wow. What?
Obligation for anyone, a family member, a civilian, to say, oh, I know where he's at, or hey, by the way, so-and-so is taking the first flight out to Mexico. There's nothing that says that they're obligated to do so.
Speaking hypothetically, Baird tells me Florida law does not allow parents to be charged as accessories after the fact in alleged crimes involving their children. But he says covering something up can lead to charges.
If they made misleading statements or lied to law enforcement officers, obviously that's a crime in Florida, and they are not protected from that.
Also, hypothetically, Camarena says there's a federal statute that does not consider a parental relationship if someone helps conceal a crime.
Where if you're aware of a felony crime and you do your best to cover it up or don't report it, then that could be a federal crime in and of itself.
Another reminder, the FBI is still the lead investigator in the Petito homicide case, and Laundrie remains a person of interest, not a suspect.
Yeah, but this idea of accessories after the fact and the federal law and what parents can and can't kind of get away with, because you're a parent, you want to protect your child.
Absolutely.
But I mean, there is a line.
There is a line, and the federal law does not have the exemption for parents. But then the question is, especially in this case, with so many areas, is the jurisdiction, is it a federal crime? Where would the parents have allegedly broken that accessory law in this particular case?
Mm-hmm. The timeline will become very important at that point.
Yeah, you could have gone just anywhere.
Day, right? But obviously very important.
Thank you, Walt.
Thank you, Walt. If you have something that you want Walt to investigate, call our 8 on your side helpline at 1-800-338-0808.
All right. I think we've done a lot today. Almost. Private, though. Everyone on board with it saw him. Yeah. We've even covered this. I feel like they're lying about the timeline.
To know. We are getting questions in from our viewers, people wondering, where is Gabby Petito's fiance, Brian Laundrie? And what do his parents know about his whereabouts? They were spotted earlier today leaving their home in a red pickup truck. They were on their way to pick up this car. So a Mustang, there it is, that police hauled away earlier this week. So far, they've remained silent about their son's whereabouts. Meantime, check out what their neighbors told Fox News about their activities on the day that Gabby was reported missing on September 11th.
I noticed that they got a new camper for the back of the pickup. I saw them loading it up, and so I assumed they were preparing for, a camping trip. The parents going on a trip, I can see that, but taking their 23-year-old son in a small camper that's on the back of the truck struck us as odd.
Wow, so there are all sorts of theories about when and where Brian took off and went to. One of those theories is from John Walsh. Here's what he said on CNN.
This family did not help at all. And it's this girl lived with them. This lawyer, this wonderful lawyer, called the cops on Friday and said, we're doing the right thing. We're going to
I'm
tell you
gonna
that
read.
Brian went to that reserve. You know what it was? It was a red herring. They bought Brian 4
No,
more
Dog the
days
Bounty
ago.
Hunter actually went to their house, Amanda. We just watched the whole video about it.
At some point, this family, this mother and
Oh,
father,
thanks,
have to
Amanda.
realize that somebody's beautiful daughter was murdered by their horrible sociopathic son.
Yeah, that's basically what came down.
Words for more on this. We are joined by
Yo, John Walsh has a colorful
National Center for
vocab.
Missing and Exploited Children, as well as the co-host of In Pursuit with John Walsh on ID, Callahan Walsh. Thank you so much for joining us on the show. So we just heard what your father thinks. Do you agree? Did Brian's parents give him a head start, in your opinion?
I share the same opinion as my father. Maybe no surprise there. But the parents absolutely bought this guy time. Now with the neighbors,
Of course,
with the alternate timeline from what they witnessed, seeing this mini camper being packed up and leaving for the weekend, even saying how strange it is that a 23-year-old male would be camping with their parents in such a small camper. We know the parents are lying about the timeline. They're buying him time. They're providing him resources, and I think it's all the more reason that we need to really not trust the Laundrie family when it comes to where Brian is.
So
Shoot, they wouldn't even tell us where Gabby is. They're definitely not going to tell us where Brian is. That's for sure. Yeah, I mean, we just watched, what's it called? Just a quick video. All he did was knock. They never answered. Someone asked him if it was a publicity. Oh, wow, he looked way better. But let's just do the last hour. I think he just showed up. Look at him. They didn't even, like, respond to him. He just kept knocking on everything. Just sit there and knocks. I didn't even know people could walk up and knock on the door. I wonder if they're like, should we answer it?
You can have supplies mailed to you. What? Really? Damn, it's like a modern area or something. I need your help with a timeline. What message did you send that to me under? Gaming Rev Ace. I remember we spoke yesterday. I remember a conversation.
Yeah, those parents are probably, even if, what's it called? Courts don't find them guilty of aiding and abetting their son. The world does still. And you have to live with the rest of the world.
Somebody said the bounty hunter is still in business. Apparently, people were telling me that he got canceled. I didn't know that guy got canceled.
But when you get canceled,
incident and stuff. They said with the N-word or whatever that he got canceled.
Oh, damn!
Okay, he's back in business.
Dr. Phil, Nancy Grace, John Walsh, Dog.
Stories, man. And,
who else can we get?
Since 2020,
great question. Great question.
Three private investigators. The fourth one wasn't such a positive conversation because it had information that I guess wasn't supposed to have. But yeah, it can be kind of mutually beneficial. It'll be interesting to see what the future holds. Because I was supposed to interview a guy with regards to Sophie Reeder, the guy that was working that case, but it fell through. Maybe we can still get on it. Maybe he'll be willing to come on. He was actually working the case for the family. She's still missing. A local Florida story. Yeah, and somebody said that as well when they called in. The Appalachian Trails, you're supposed to go by nicknames. It's like frowned upon if you use your actual name.
What?
Yeah, he's still rocking a mullet. You didn't see it?
That's weird.
He came over there in style.
Yeah, his parents look just like Casey Anthony. She had to move and change her name too.
But I guess he like surveilled. I don't know, what was he doing?
I gotta search her up. Going in. The behavior panel. Alright. Shoot, let's bring some more insight. Body length. Oh, 48. Bro, what? What did they review, bro? I'm not even.
really don't care what your excuse is.
They use trail names, not real names. Normal for.
But
okay.
You'll notice that he is showing he's being compliant, he's being responsive. She is taking the lead and saying, look, I did this, I did that, I did this. She's not saying we were not fighting. When you hear fighting, it's going to cue a certain behavior in police officers because domestic violence, and they know patterns and they're behaving to patterns. So we'll see that come up. But pay attention, they're compliant, they're responding, they're doing as they're told. They show heightened fight or flight, which means increased blink rates. It means creating exoskeletons. It means trying to protect all those internal organs we always talk about. Fight or flight is your way to escape or defend yourself. And I'll leave a lot for the rest of you to talk about and move around that. Mark, what do you got?
Yeah, so perception management comes to mind around this. We have the female there who is a YouTuber. So perception, as we all well know, perception management is an important thing. I think I detect early on in this, both of them have their hands up, very compliant. Immediately, the female turns her head and shows negative emotion on the face directly towards the officer. So it's very clear about showing here is the emotion that I'm displaying to you right now, and yet says I'm not crying. So interesting difference there between what is clearly being shown to the officer, or maybe even happening for her emotionally, and what she says is happening. Grooming of the hair as she comes out. So again, perception management. Then minimizes her body. That's to be expected in this situation, most likely under stress, under pressure.
I wonder if he was in Cali where he had gone to head.
Jewelry on the hands.
It's still massive out there.
A little bit later in terms of the scratches that the male has on his face, and that there's potentially been some striking going on, and the jewelry has created potentially the scratches there. But then she hides those behind her
I should
back.
just
Again,
get rid of this whole face bar.
But often when the
camera
hands
isn't
are
working.
hidden, there's some sense of anxiety going on there. The male, very compliant, very helpful in this situation, and yet it then moves to being slightly over familiar. The use of the word buddy there, and I believe, though I can't see it happening, but because of the distances going on there and the apology, I believe he throws the keys to the officer and then apologizes for that. I think it can't be seen, but I'm going to construe that from the distance that they have and the apology that goes on. And there's some frames missing from this body camera as to when the keys go on the dash and when the officer would have to lean in and take those keys. So, very compliant. Male, pretty compliant there. Again, good baseline for how he performs under police inquiry. Scott, what do you got on this?
Yeah, I probably would hang around the border in Mexico too.
Really compliant. She's got what I call the show face. She sticks that face right out there and shows the emotion, like you were saying, Mark, the emotion she's going through at the time, even though she contradicts that. When the officer comes up, and he does a great job at de-escalating what he thinks is going to be a pretty iffy situation there. We'll talk about that as we go along as well. And as Greg said, this is a great example of baselining someone, getting an idea of how that person acts when they're under this kind of stress. Because
these are definitely the guys I review.
This guy in an interrogation situation.
So
they're very compliant. And then after Gabby finishes talking, then Brian says, it was a long day. We were camping yesterday, and the camping got flies and stuff. Then, in a classic Hartley, he chaffs and redirects toward why they hit the bump in the road, what happened there. So he totally gets his the attention from what's happening in the car, outside the car, to what happened before. A change of let's focus on another time, in other words. Again, when she gets out of the car, she gets out, and as he's leaning forward, she's apologizing again. She starts all over again. And then these are all behaviors that indicate stress and that show that they're worried about what's happening. And maybe it's just me, but this is the behavior you see when somebody's hiding weed or mushrooms or something, when they're really, really nice like that. But at the same time, you see it when like we were talking earlier.
I feel like I'm talking to myself in the chat. So sorry, Amanda.
If you've done nothing,
I guess everyone else who's in the chat just left.
Apologetic and be saying
I don't know why it's
sorry
just
all
us.
the time, and just full on, hey, here's what's going on. But at the same time, it gives me the feeling they got something in there too. Chase, what do you got?
Hey, one note. When you
I'm here
say
with you,
draft
though.
and redirect in this case, I don't think it's intentional. I think this is brain going,
okay.
I don't think it's him intentionally doing it. Yeah.
Okay.
Just
talking.
Yep.
Yeah, that was going to be the first thing I said. When he's talking about the curb, he genuinely probably doesn't think the fight.
Let's see what they say about this.
Quit my job. Okay. I was a nutritionist. That was my job.
Cool.
And I just quit my job to travel across the country. Perfectly calm. I'm calm all the time. And he really stresses me out. And I just...
Seems like she was self-blaming at first, but the longer they talked, like the more she started to open up about him and say how much she didn't like being with him. I mean, they're stuck together. They're in a van across country together.
Let you take a breath, relax a little bit, and then I'll come back and talk to you in a few minutes, okay?
Okay.
All right.
Chase, what do you got?
You do that again. I'm sorry.
No.
My mic is way over there.
Chase, what do you got?
Huh. If I had to guess where he is,
Genuine sadness here.
I definitely wouldn't be in the state of Florida anymore. You guys did make a great point that he is a hiker and he could survive in the Appalachian Mountains.
More likely to cover their lower
So I could definitely see him doing that.
vulnerable, threatened, or
If not like Appalachian Mountains or somewhere where he could hike and just stay off the grid, probably Mexico, you know, just get out the country, and then there'd be no more problems. Well, there'd be a new set of problems, but none with jail.
and really animated.
It's more about survival, which you can already do.
She used to work. And this is a good sign that she doesn't feel that she's in any danger in this moment. And she does not redirect any other conversation to her safety.
Yeah, she does seem
explains
scared
the
of like
situation without
really
anything, hiding, concealing,
deep dive
any
into the
issues that she's
situation.
having. So she's very straightforward.
It seems like
and very
like
honest about what she's doing,
him not believing in her in the blog. Like that's literally it seems like why she's out there.
It's all seems pretty genuine.
I don't know. It's like her passion, and he's not.
She doesn't have to be famous.
It doesn't even seem like he's like, I don't know, considerate of it.
She's got on Instagram.
It's always like
back
the
to
small
van
things.
when she's having to go sit in this Tahoe, which is, I think, more of a sign of separation anxiety and not fear, which is one of the reasons they were having an argument in the first place. She's kind of holding her finger there while she's looking back at the van, not out of safety, not out of like, is the boyfriend going to be mad, but I'm going to have to be separated, physically separated from this person. Scott, what do you got?
All right. And going back to the part about how...
Hey, Marie? What's up, Marie?
Chase and I were doing jury selection this past week, or whenever it was, last week, and we saw the perfect example of someone who was afraid,
I agree with you, Amanda.
and just had no confidence at all with what they were talking about, with, of course, the other side. And we both, as soon as this happened, as soon as this guy goes down and puts his clasp...
Let's go to his Instagram.
We both kind of looked at each other like,
You guys are giving me something to do here.
in contrast with the attorney that we were with, who was just in the height of confidence. It was a great comparison there. Anyway, her hands on her knees and being bent over like that, this is an emotional stress indicator. She's worn out, so I'm sure this has been going on.
I heard her and the dad also.
Yesterday.
Oh, what the fuck?
When she says
I heard the dad also helped her too.
OCD and she grabs her chest. A lot of times when people do that when they're talking about something from their heart.
How do you do this?
A lot of times
I need to make my YouTube page like this. What? You could just clink on it? That's really cool.
It's just this.
Oh, it leads to hers.
I've been watching videos of her father when he's been on the news and those situations. And somebody asked him about the OCD thing, and he said that he wasn't aware that she had OCD. So I don't know if that's what that situation's about. And from observing him, he seemed like his household may be a bit strict, and it may be one of those situations where it is so strict that she may have developed what she sees as OCD, trying to control her space wherever she is, because she has no control of it when she grew up as she was a child. So when she's
some deep diving right here on these guys.
Anything she can control to give her some power in the world. So that might.
I mean, it's only what's it called? The YouTube was connected, not
That was
the
interesting that she would be bouncing from
nomadic
laughing
static
to crying as she goes
website.
through this and
I mean, his is connected to the
explains what's
website,
going on. Again, the police
but
officer
then
is
the
doing
website's
a
not like
fantastic
connected
job of
to
de-escalating this and calming her down. His voice is
his
just live, like,
page.
there's
It's
no problem.
connected
What's
to
going on?
like,
You know, everything is really cool.
oh
So
yeah,
he listens
it
to
just
her.
brings it
And by
back
the
to the
time
YouTube.
this section,
On
this
YouTube,
part
I
is
clicked it and
over,
it went to
she's
Gabby's.
fairly
Oh no,
calm compared to the way she was when she got out of the car. And all she needed
oh,
to do was
both of
cry.
theirs are on
So
here, I
I'm sure
guess.
she's been so frustrated
I've
with
never
him
done this
and being
before.
probably fairly vocal with her
What?
boyfriend,
All you have to do is just click
Brian
this,
Laundrie,
bro?
that and he's
Someone
not
needs to teach me
listening.
how to do this.
Sometimes people just need to be listened to, and that changes the game. And of course, that's what the police officer is doing here in that case, and it works great. When the officer asks, well, "So what do you do for a living?" Everything changes here. She changes from being
Yeah.
this real stressed out thing. She's been open anyway, but she gets her illustrators get a little bit larger, and she's very open about talking. That's when we see the hand clasping. It's not the hand clasping and ringing, which we're going to see on him in a little while.
Oh, I'm sorry
It's
to
the
hear,
hand
Amanda.
clasping of, this is great. This is something I can control. It's something I'm proud of. And she talks about how she worked at an organic juice place, and she was proud of that and happy for that. Then she talks about creating a blog, and she almost says podcast, but maybe she's not sure she's going to do it. But that's when we see her hands clasping together, and actually when her hands come down, they almost slap her leg like that section is finished. It's not that big a deal, but that happens there, and you may be wondering what that is. So she's clasping her hands when she's talking about things she can control. That's something to remember there in comparison with how we've seen her act so far. Yeah, I think that's it for me. Greg, what do you got?
Yeah, so a couple of things. She does get calm, but she gets calm about the emotional issues. She's crying, she's doing this. When she starts to talk about, he told me, calm down. If you really want to pick a fight with a woman, tell her to calm down. That usually works well. If she's already upset and you say calm down, yeah, that's a brilliant move. Or anyone else. But most women will not take that well, number one. Number two, she talks about these things that are emotional, and she gets flat about the emotion, about the arguing with a boyfriend, about him not having any faith in her. Those are emotional issues. And when she comes up out of that cry, those are hot issues. Chase, I agree with you. Typically women cross, and I call that crossing the primary sex organs, ovaries versus testicles. A woman puts her arm across her torso when she's feeling stressed, where a man puts them in front of him. And we've traditionally called it fig leaf. It's been what it's been called forever. What you're going to notice here, though, is there's a lot of behavior where she.
But they are body control people or body language
for something, and she tries to
experts.
make up for it, or she feels like what she said is not enough, and she does try to make up for it. I worked in an organic juice bar. I was a nutritionist. Okay, those might be related, they might not, but there's emotion in her here, and it didn't start yesterday. I have a feeling, Scott. You take volatile personalities who feed on each other, which I have a feeling we're seeing here, and you put them in a small vehicle and drive them across country. It's probably been going on for days, if not longer. And if you can't see that there's
Imagine only 2 more weeks of that, though. That's just
OCD,
damn.
You track dirt in the vehicle. I'm trying to clean it up. He gets irritated. He already started a story before. They're giving us facts. There were bugs, and then there was dirt, and then she's talking about bugs and dirt. So we're seeing something was a trigger moment for them, and we'll hear more of that when we get into the full video. But you can.
But you see how like meaningless that argument can be? Like when it comes to the case of like I'm about to strangle you out because you're annoying me. That's basically what it seems like it came down to.
And the other person's feeding it, and they're causing a problem, and you get spun up. Doesn't mean anything about what happened after this. We just know this is about a specific incident. She's open. She moves her body language. And Chase,
Humans are wait. So
about her
August 12th, and then he posts this.
She likely would be turning away and paying attention to what he's saying. The anxiety I see about her looking is, what is he going to say? Because we've been fighting. That's what I see. Mark, what do you got?
Yeah. So, look, I took a look at a baseline here. She put out a video of their trip. It's called Van Life. And you see the immaculate nature of inside the van, beautifully set up, lifestyle kind of vlog. Fantastic. Take a look at her feet. Her toenails are painted perfectly right now. That's got to be pretty hard to do when you're in van life. So there is a personality here that likes things in a particular manner. She's a YouTuber, and so that's actually, particularly important as well at the same time, that perception management. So it's interesting. We see her, before she starts talking about being a nutritionist, we see her flick the hair back in a...
I was a nutritionist. That was my job.
Cool.
I just
Do you see her flick the hair back? She actually did do that. Yeah, it's hearing her just go down like that. When she starts talking about it, it's like, damn. I feel like that's a focus, or maybe a focal point of their issues.
Because of your OCD? Told me I needed to calm down. Yeah. But I'm perfectly calm. I'm calm all the time. And he really stresses me out. And this is a rough morning.
He really stresses me out.
Why don't we do this?
Yeah, they definitely were about to break up.
You down in the back seat of my car. You're not in any trouble, okay? I'm not going to be putting handcuffs on you. You obviously don't have any weapons. I'm going to get you into the air conditioning, let you take a breath, relax a little bit, and then I'll come back and talk to you in a few minutes, okay?
Okay.
All righty. Come on over here. You're not in any trouble right now. So, tell me what's going on.
She just gets worked up sometimes, and I try and really distance myself from her. So, like, I locked the car and I walked away from her. What happened this morning is that she's trying to start up like her own little website blog and everything. So I give her time. And we really had a nice morning, if anything. But
See how he says it was a nice morning, and she was like, she contradicted him. She was like, he doesn't really believe in me. He's just so frustrated. See, and he doesn't even go into question all that stuff. It's just like, oh yeah, you got marks on your face.
I locked the keys so I could walk away. I said, let's just take a breather and let's not, go anywhere. Let's just calm down for a minute. She was getting a little worked up, and then she had her phone and was trying to get the keys from me, so I got away. I was just trying to. I know I shouldn't push, but I was just trying to push her away to go. Let's just take a minute.
She had her phone, but I'm pretty sure someone said he.
She got me with her phone. Can I see your hand? Oh, you got a mark right here. Oh, that's from a wire. That's from a wire? Yeah. You want to tell me about hitting that curb? Hitting the curb was her grabbing the wheel. She grabbed the wheel? Yeah. She said, I can't believe we're getting pulled over, and then she grabbed the wheel. What about the speed? Did she take over the... Did she take over the pedal on you? If I was going fast, I'm sorry. No, it's probably just the moment of... I'm still shaking now. The adrenaline, seeing the lights flashing up, and then her grabbing the wheel. So if I sped up, I'm sorry about that. Or if I was speeding beforehand, I'm sorry about that.
Yeah.
Quite a bit to catch up to.
It could be a mess.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that. We're just going into the park again to get water because we have a 6-gallon water container to fill up, so we're just grabbing water for the hike. Okay. And I was trying to keep everything calm and quiet because there's plans still to go for a hike, but it's good. I'm really sorry about that. Of course. Do me a favor. You want to go ahead and just take a seat right over here on the curb for me? And if I was speeding, I'm sorry. I'll apologize. You don't have anything in my pocket or anything like that, do you?
Whoa! Was he reaching for her?
I just want to make sure, that's all, man. Go ahead, do me a favor, take a seat, all right?
All right, Greg, what do you got?
I just was too buddy.
Just run down a list of things. I'm going to tell you something that studies have indicated.
Yeah, like the cops didn't address any problems, bro. I don't understand what they were. All they did was like, fuck it, we're just going to separate them.
Indicator of testosterone exposure.
Let bygones be bygones.
Affects how your brain functions and all those kinds of things. Whether it works or not, I will tell you I've paid attention to that when I'm going to altercation in a business meeting or something with someone to look and see where testosterone is patterned in the brain. People who have high testosterone levels or a lot of exposure have higher risk profiles. That's usually the only real advantage to it or disadvantage. So they're more liable to take that altercation a little bit further and that kind of thing. Just take that for what it is. I'll leave that part at that. What he does is
WFLA, Casey Anthony was supporting Brian. Come on, they both. Come on.
He's a little increased, but he doesn't create an exoskeleton. He's not afraid enough to do that. He does illustrate with his hands, and there's some hemispheric I'll leave to you, Chase. But he does use his hands when he's talking about positive with one and negative with the other. He's open. He responds to every question. He responds appropriately. He gives more information, which is pretty typical. And if you don't believe that, when you get pulled over by a police officer and they say, can I have your license and registration? What do you typically say? It's not, here they go. It's, well, I was doing this or I was doing that. And they all know that.
When I got pulled over,
you're just trying to give information.
I just literally gave him my stuff and stayed silent.
Is either to attack,
talk to my girlfriend the whole time.
Take away that fight or flight, and that's what you see him doing here as well. I'm not going to cover a whole lot here.
Came back with a ticket. I was doing 34 over the speed limit.
Talking about her grabbing the wheel. Now, later when we cover the rest of the story,
just said thank you and then got pled down later on.
But here you're seeing that. You're also seeing him here talking about having altercation where he tried to close the door and told her to get away and pushed her off, and he told her to calm down. So their stories are matching. You think that when somebody's trying to hide something, their stories wouldn't match. Now, this stop has nothing to do, as far as we know, with what happened to Ms. Petito. What it does have to do is establishing where they were in this relationship at this point in time, which is a few weeks back. I'll leave it at that and say, Chase, what do you got?
Yeah, I think he does start out to be actually dismissive of this blog that she's starting. When he says the word little before, she's starting a little blog or website.
Yeah, that's pretty dismissive.
Hyper compliant. And when I'm teaching intelligence people for interrogation or recruiting operations, we have a fight, flight, freeze response, but there's a fourth F that we add in there, who's a person who does friend. And that's the person who tries to make friends with the animal that's trying to kill it or the potential threat. And we're seeing that hyper compliance here. And this anxiety is likely from the police situation. The scratches story, when he's talking about the scratches, he doesn't try to disparage her at all. He says, I was trying to distance myself from that. He doesn't say her specifically. He was saying that, which means he's not trying to make her look a certain way at all. And when he says about the phone, he said, she had a phone in her hand, not she hit me with the phone, not she scratched me with the phone. None of the actions that she actually took. He's just trying to say she had a phone in her hand. It was an accident. And he's hyper compliant with the police. His head, and one of the quickest ways to test compliance is to point. So when this police officer points back to the curb, this guy's head jerks so fast back to where the police officer's pointing before he even gives an instruction to look in that direction. So that is a definition of hypercompliance. He's wide open, and I've said hypercompliance about 72 times so far, so I'm going to stop. Mark, what do you got?
Yeah. So I will say, Chase, that he is very helpful, and he talks a lot. Like, he's giving a lot of information. And if we just take that as a baseline of how he interacts with a police inquiry, which is in right now, it's interesting that of today's date, it's the 18th of September, I think. Am I right? September? I'm terrible with days, months, and everything, left and right. So 18th of September, as of today, this particular male has disappeared or is not available and can't be found. So, and will not talk to the police. So that's a very different way to be than he is in this. If you take this as his baseline, today, his baseline is one of ghosting, essentially, disappeared, gone into the ether. So that's kind of interesting. His illustrators are really good. You know, lock the car.
Yeah, like that is her car.
Illustrator for that.
How I'd be damned if someone, even if it was like anyone, bro. If someone locked me out of my own car.
Is to say, and that's the right thing to do. The right thing to do is to distance myself from her.
I hope it wasn't her first boyfriend, but them being high school sweethearts makes me believe it might have been.
If you are ever in a situation where you feel that that you could get wound up in other people's emotions or your own.
I mean, when I look at her
getting hot, you're feeling yourself
Instagram page,
angry, upset, anxious.
It doesn't say that they were dating while they were in high school, unless they were on and off in high school.
It's one of the best bets for de-escalation. Is not.
I do not tag this person.
And so I agree with his de-escalation around that. Though it seems like sometimes
as far back as possible.
Isolating.
Brian is, I mean, the first photo we do see of Brian is like the whole happy 1 year.
Over time is different from distancing
damn.
over a shorter amount of time. That's kind of interesting to know. Yes, we see his hands shaking before he said, hey, my hands are shaking. So that's really useful. We see him do the push gesture. I pushed her away.
1 whole year's worth of adventures and stories.
However,
down.
Looking a little bit into this, the altercation that he's
March
talking
17th,
about,
so March 2019.
That he pushed her face or grabbed
her when they officially started dating, I guess.
Pushing like that is very different from up here.
April, so I guess she was just seeing him,
true or not, you know, how
probably talking to him.
But if that is
I could
true,
assume
there's
like
a
he's
big
not in her
difference
life
between
here.
what he's saying and what somebody's saying is going
Oh,
on.
you could
It's
technically look at the
always,
first.
as a general rule, pretty bad idea to go and touch other people's faces.
I'm not
Scott,
looking at
where do
all
you
her
go?
likes now. I think about 2,000
We're
likes,
not
bro.
seeing any regulators here,
See
so
where the
he feels
first
free to
Brian
talk
like
again.
is, but
Police officers are doing a
I'm gonna
great
let someone
job
else do it.
at de-escalating this and finding out
Let's
what's going
report
on.
on it.
The officer's tone's a little bit stronger with this guy than it is with her, because this is a guy and he's going to put up a much better fight than she could, or if he was going to start something. Seeing tons of illustrators, a lot of illustrators here, and that's cool. But they continue, when he's finished, they go down to his sides again. This, and Greg and I talked about this before as well, looks like he may have been involved somehow with law enforcement before. It could be just that he's doing that because it looks innocent, but he's doing a lot of things that say he's being so nice, and he's saying all of the right things that sort of tip you off. Maybe this guy has been pulled over a lot. Maybe I guess you'd say in that case.
That's your friend. I don't want to take your friend away from you.
What?
But she needs weed. That's coming over here with me.
So, we're seeing a lot of hand wringing. Again,
But
showing
that's up
stress.
to you.
That built up stress.
It's your
Tension,
friend.
those are his adapters. Then he
I don't think she's gonna
explains
like a backward.
realize he was speeding, and then again maybe guys are right. Maybe he redirects because
She's a backward.
just talking, just wants to talk about something. So he starts talking about that 6-gallon container, water container. So that's which is fairly common. You're right. When somebody's nervous like that, they'll end up doing saying those types of things. What else have I got here? And in comparison, he's really calm compared to her. Emotionally, he's calm, whereas emotionally she was a little bit out of control over there. And
I have this. I have games on the ball.
Mental state.
But I know
if they were fussing all the way through there, that's understandable.
Probably.
Now I think he locked the car because he's afraid she's going to leave him out there in the desert. So I believe that's why he took the key and said, "Let's get it. Let's go."
Oh no, she's not here. She's not here.
We'll
Something
go
else.
out and do the hike or whatever. I think that's one of the situations we're dealing here, because maybe they fuss a lot, and when they do, maybe she goes hard one direction.
How do you look at Gabby Petito? I don't think she's yeah, she could probably cause harm, don't get me wrong, but a threat, like a life-threatening
we're seeing confidence in this
threat, bro. Come on,
what you guys, all of you have said into consideration.
I wouldn't say that about her.
I think we're seeing
taking the John Walsh
in this guy because he knows this
approach. She's literally like 90 pounds,
and he probably loves her. Maybe he loves her, and that's why, as Chase was saying.
Don't get me wrong, she could hit me and probably inflict pain, but
I think his confidence comes.
I wouldn't say she's life-threatening.
I think
even when someone said if she had a gun in her hand, I'm like,
honest about what happened. I'm not saying
maybe, but then she would have to know.
I don't see anybody running from anything.
Only time I don't know if she used it and pulled the trigger, then yeah, I guess.
About the fuss they were having.
What are the odds? An unregistered
psychopath. We're seeing nothing in there at this point.
Person knows how to use a firearm,
or shows any behavior like that whatsoever.
Possible.
All right, we good?
But I mean, he wasn't shot or anything, so like once she went to what's it called, guns out of hand, is she still really a threat?
So, tell me what's going on.
Gabby some message just should leave him. Now they're investigating those officers. Well, if there was a female officer that did like have a heart-to-heart with her, I'd love to hear it. These guys, bro. I'm not saying it's their fault, but damn. Like really, like what that one girl said, arresting one of them may have like completely saved the other. Huh? No. Up for what? On text. How am I supposed to? Got 22 watching right now. I'm kind of dying out, but I kind of just admitted that I was about to get off soon, so it was at 50 or 60 something earlier.
Oh, that's from a wire. That's from a wire? Yeah. You want to tell me about hitting that curb?
48 likes?
She grabbed the wheel? Yeah. She said, I can't believe we're getting pulled over.
Oh, this keeps going up too, watch.
What about the speed? Did she take over the... pedal on you?
If I was going fast, I'm sorry. No, it's probably just the moment of... I'm 60 now. The adrenaline, seeing the lights flashing up and then her gripping the wheel. So if I sped up, I'm sorry about that. Or if I was speeding beforehand, I'm sorry about that.
It took quite a bit.
Alright, we watch another of this. I'm sorry for putting you guys through 40 minutes of that. Rose?
Rose. Yeah, the theory is that she is somehow related to this because in the video that was like posted to like the Instagram thing.
No,
like,
actually, let me just.
No, but the videos are related to like the Instagram thing. She has camouflage Crocs. In that video, there's a picture of Crocs. Also shoe. And she recently deleted the picture of her in camouflage Crocs. I don't know, it's just a thing.
I mean, we're listening to a lot of theories today, so.
Well, because also someone said somewhere that they saw two girls near the van. So that's because she was supposed to meet Rose in Wyoming. That's who she was supposed to meet.
I didn't know she was meeting anyone.
She was supposed to meet somebody, and that's when they found that like things were weird because like she was supposed to meet somebody for her friend's birthday. And Rose was the friend.
Then why didn't Rose say that in like any of her interviews?
It's known. It's already a fact of the case. It's been known. She's supposed to meet a friend. That's why Rose was interviewed. Because she was the one who was supposed to meet her.
Nah.
Yes. It's seriously like already a fact.
Gotta stop. Don't throw the F word out there.
It's a fact.
Don't throw the F word out there.
It is a fact.
Rose meeting Gab. I don't.
Look at Rose, whatever her last name.
I do not know Rose. Gabby's best friend. I mean, more theories to throw out the chat. Guys, did you hear her?
Davis.
Rose Davis.
No, that's a theory. It's a theory. But like Rose was actually supposed to meet her. That's a fact. The rest of the theory.
She never said to her.
She doesn't say it. It's literally a fact. Look up like the timeline. She was supposed to meet her friend in Wyoming at Yellowstone, and she didn't show up to Yellowstone.
It's gonna take me to some. Okay.
Oh, somebody said Jason Walker said the couple murdered. The FBI already confirmed. See, look. Tam's Art said she was supposed to meet her friend in Yellowstone on the 29th, and she did not show up. It's true. It's already been like that's part of like the whole thing.
And you think it's Rose that's a friend?
No, she is. It's already confirmed. The coincidence of finding the couple murdered, the FBI already said that the two are not.
Oh shit! You're right. This is fun news.
Exactly. Pretty news.
Never phoned Gabby Petito.
Missed meetup and didn't call on her birthday, but sent strange text to her mom.
Yeah, and if it's your friend's birthday, you'd say it.
And they're best friends, so like, would.
Of course, it could slip his mind. He wouldn't know. Damn. Smith.
Yeah, they were supposed to meet in Yellowstone. She never made it to Yellowstone. I think he killed her on the 27th because that van was spotted. Like,
I think their last scene at
and they were spotted. I think like the 26th or something.
The 26th at night and the 27th at at 1 p.m.
That it scared the It scared the.
Anonymous. It's not Rose, but. Beginning of August, we were planning to meet in Yellowstone after my birthday. That was.
It wasn't Rose, but it was a crash.
It was when we planned it. I was the only one going to see them. She wouldn't wander off and not contact her family. I know that for a fact.
Yeah, why would you blow off your friend, girl?
True.
Also, I saw someone else like going through that something like only a female would notice. That like when she was talking. Officer, you can see in her face, like, you know how girls do that thing where they're like, they don't want to tell you, but they want you to guess what you're thinking?
I think, because
I do that shit.
We were just watching like a body language thing where she was kind of talking about how her boyfriend didn't like her blog thing, but then kind of just like
it was like
dimmed it down really quick.
It's like the whole, like, she's sitting in the van talking to the
officers. That's right here.
And like you can see her, like, she does that like face where it's like you're holding something in.
As well as in front of the grocery store, with the cops on scene, everything in terms of their project
they can hear you.
would possibly be over in a heartbeat. Gabby felt Brian was already losing interest.
They said that like it's her. She was doing that thing. Oh, can I wear it?
Might have used this as an out. Might have.
They said like. She was making that face that like you make when like you're holding something in and you want them to guess but you don't want to say it because she like wasn't ready to admit that he was abusing her.
How do we know this? Because they did.
I feel like a airplane controller. I feel like an airplane controller. She was in a different. She's talking. I forget the exact point in the video because it was like a clip from TikTok. They had slowed down, but she like goes like this, and you could see her face just like crumple, and like that's the face that it's. I don't know. It's really common things that girls do where they like want you to guess what they're saying.
It's gonna be out of Florida. He just grabbed you. Did he hit you?
But now he's in the Everglades. Yeah, kind of like I don't know, like Amanda, like I don't know if you ever do that thing where you like want guys to guess what you're trying to say, but you don't want to say it. That she was doing that.
I get what you're saying.
Yeah, like it's kind of like where you're not ready to admit something, or you don't want to say it, but you want. Yeah, she wanted them to figure it out, but she didn't want to say like, "Hey, my boyfriend hit me." She wanted them to guess it and say and like get her out of the situation, but she wasn't like really confident enough to like come out and say it.
So has he been drinking?
And then you can see she like covers him. She like covers for him because she says that she hit him, which I mean she did technically, but it was in defense of it. But you know, he makes her look like crazy for being the one crying. He's like just chilling.
Did Jordan tell him all that?
See, all the girls know what's up.
That far into it, she was.
It's a thing.
She's saying that they don't drink, but at the point when you lit them up.
Maybe back. Oh, there's no camera.
That's the. Where's the camera?
My phone bill wasn't connected.
Mm.
She's saying like hit the curb. You said it was Gabby? I'm sorry, I don't know that name. It was Gabby?
Sad.
Extremely.
He could have literally saved her right there.
But you tend to have a lot of anxiety and stress. And what's his name? Is it Brian? Is he usually pretty patient?
I feel like the officers that went out there had no idea about the 911 call.
Yeah,
Like, because they don't reference it at all. Like, the 911 call made it very clear that she was being abused.
Yeah. And that her phone was taken.
Yeah, ACVA, like, I don't know why they didn't have her speak with the female cop. They have her speaking with the male cops. And I mean, he is being really relatable. Like, he's talking about his own personal experience of being in a toxic relationship, but
He's on the curb right now. Well, if you can see him.
Brian cannot see her right now because she's like, you know, in the car. He's by the van. Yeah, exactly. Tamzar, like she was keeping it all in. I feel like personally, I feel like the cops wanted to help, but I don't think that they were trained well enough to realize like how bad the situation was.
Yeah,
see, like right here, look where her face goes like that.
Swerve or anything like that? Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and close this door again. Do you have enough air back here, or do you want me to kick it up some more?
Because I think they should have taken
I will see if I can find something.
taken her away to the female officer, because I just usually you're more comfortable saying that to the female cop. And then here also, yes, exactly. Females are not gonna. I'm not gonna go tell a guy what's going on because I automatically do not trust them the same way. So I'm not gonna like tell my deepest, darkest problem to a random male cop in Wyoming.
This officer is probably going to be the one handling the whole case. Do you want to
Exactly.
listen to what he has to say?
Exactly, Amanda.
And then you tell him.
But also what he says in the beginning, he's like, yeah, I don't have my phone. And then an hour into the whole video, he pulls out his.
We've been in Beyond Land for the past week or so, traveling around, and the flies here are pretty intense. So the flies have definitely been getting to her, and then my feet are dirty and everything. So I think that our little problem started because we were hanging out at the coffee shop, and when we got back to the van, there was some dirty stuff in the van. And, I moved our food around, so it was a little disorganized. So she gets a little. Sorry about that. It's okay. Do you need any water? That's okay. It's hot out. I was down we were going to get water because we ran out, but it's okay.
Okay.
No, it's alright. I don't like plastic bottles. It's okay.
What?
Yeah. But we just had a little disagreement there. Disagreement was just.
This is reactive abuse right here.
It's okay. Thank you so much.
Anything you could search up more Gabby Petito videos. Just share what
So it was just more of a disagreement, and I just wanted to. It was. I wouldn't even call it disagreement. It was just.
What? Oh, you want to look up a video?
Dirty, like I got 30 feet. I got sand on my flip flops and stuff like that. It was that we were at the coffee shop for so long because we were there from 9 to 3. So yeah, there's a few little things, just little relationships.
Oh, I feel like he's in the Everglades on a boat somewhere. Oh, but did you hear about the thing about the FBI where they're focusing on one small part of the reserve, and that is also the area this other girl like theorized on TikTok that theorized that because that section has trail cameras where you can watch wildlife, that the FBI potentially could have seen him on a trail camera, because I believe, might not be 100% correct, yep, might not be 100% correct, but they are not letting, like, the news cameras, the news helicopters, they're keeping them at 1,500 feet when it's normally 400 feet. Yeah, so they're not letting, yeah, it's like this.
I was saying, let's just go for a walk, and she was trying to get the
He looked charismatic. This looks kind of to me like almost like sociopathic.
I didn't get overtly physical.
It's classic like domestic abuse.
And then I got really loud, and like that's probably whoever's attention where I was going, back up, get away, just give me a. Okay, so
yeah, they think he's like on a boat somewhere in the Everglades. Although, like, I don't know if any of you are from Florida, but you do not fucking go in the Everglades. Have to fucking die.
So you push her and she hit you?
I don't know, like, I like half grew up in Florida, and so her thing was butterflies, and then on Instagram it was like a fly, and then in a picture on his Instagram he's wearing a fly shirt. So some people theorize that she posted, she posted the picture, but I think it was posted the 30th, I might be wrong, but some people had like a weird theory that like she posted it and it was like bringing it back, saying that he did it. Although I believe that if a woman can abuse a man too.
Yeah, we were discussing that. Even so, it should never lead to what happened in this situation.
I mean, I had a family member, they married someone and she straight up abused him for years. And it's interesting how it... Can't hear the video. Oh, no, I can. It's interesting how... like abuse works. It's kind of, I don't know, to me it's like almost relates to like Stockholm syndrome in a way, because it's like from the outside you're like, why don't you just leave? But then there's a literal like psychological component to why people are trapped in these relationships. It's interesting.
No, I don't think so. No, none that I know of.
Real fast, can I get your first name?
Yeah, the other interesting thing about abuse is there are some people who all have been abused and then they can never imagine abusing somebody, and then there are people who have been abused and they continue the cycle of abuse.
B-E-T? P.
So I don't know, psychology just interests me.
I've never experienced it firsthand, but I've seen it in SVU a lot, where a child gets raped and then he goes on to continue the cycle.
It is interesting. It's like because that's how they grew up, and it's also like for example, more common thing is like hitting your child, right? And a lot of people don't think it's wrong to hit your child. A lot of people don't think it's wrong to hit your kid, but then you grow up and you think it's okay to hit your kid because you turned out fine. So it kind of continues that, and that's, a lot lesser. I wouldn't say lesser. I don't know, like more toned down than, your boyfriend killing you in fucking Wyoming. Why can't you get the video to work? For the camera.
I think The stream gonna start it again.
Do you want to watch another video? I don't know how to. Okay, but what video should we watch? Should we watch something else about Gabby Petito?
We do 48 hours.
It just better not be that fucking Walt and JB, man. He said one thing that was sexist that was done with him.
Who?
The Walt and JB people.
Oh,
he fucking related people posting about this to the Me Too movement getting attention, and I was like, I can't deal with this. See, look, there's Rose.
She's like, hey, I love nature. Hey, camping, why not?
Yo, if this turns out that she is involved, if Rose is involved in this, that's gonna be plot twist of the fucking century.
Much as I know Gabby and feel like I know Brian, you just never know when it comes to relationships.
It is really sad though, because it's also it's one of those.
Found what appears to be the human remains of Gabby Petito.
It's one of those instances where everything's like seems nice online, but it's not.
Just wanting to take a journey and have fun while she's young. She knew she wanted a van. They worked and saved up for it. They bought the van. They converted it.
I love the van.
And we supported her on that.
All the chocolate mounted.
Oh, you went to college for criminal justice psychology? Me too.
They seem like such a nice couple.
It's really interesting. I wish I knew more about it. So I could like actually like go through and analyze this, but
I was last seeing them and everything, they were rocky.
You know, Amanda, I thought the same thing, and then I met Alex. So.
Obviously, he sees the beauty in Gabby. She's gorgeous, and jealousy can turn into rage.
2 people went on a trip, 1 person returned, and that person that returned isn't providing us any information.
Where is Gabby?
Where is Gabby, Brian? We're out here!
I immediately just, where is she? Where is Gabby? Where is she? Over and over again.
Yeah, Tams, I think that would be like self-defense. Well, in some states, actually, that would be considered like legally self-defense, but.
Rushed back to the computer, and lo and behold, Gabby's van was on our footage.
Okay, I have a
Oh, this video is crazy.
I absolutely think the amazing community on social media came together and found Gabby. 1,000,000%. It was social media.
Imagine if every missing persons case was treated like this. We'd find everybody.
Indeed, that of Gabby Petito, the coroner calling her death a
Who, Marie? Was Brian talking to someone else?
FBI agents descended on the Florida home of 23-year-old Brian Laundrie. They were inside for nearly 6 hours, questioning his parents and collecting evidence.
A massive search. More than 50 officers and FBI agents combing a 24,000-acre park near Sarasota, Florida, looking for Brian Laundrie,
who hasn't been seen since the 14th, according to his parents, and is a person of interest in the death.
Oh no, they also, someone came out and said that the,
never felt a pain like this.
Oh, someone else came out and said that Brian can survive for like months in the Appalachian Mountains.
And if she can't, she'll give you some of hers. We will get justice for her no matter what.
Am I taking over for you? This is fun. I kind of like this.
I appreciate all you guys. Thank you for tuning in today. Here's my lovely girlfriend. Stop typing for some reason.
Oh, okay. Brian Laundrie, Appalachian Trail. Appalachian Mountains? So, oh, yes, see, I was right. On a trail camera.
Yeah, they found that guy and it wasn't him.
Oh, never mind. Okay, well, it was a theory. Never mind.
Yeah, that's literally why I sat here and did all this.
Neighbor.
Try to fact find everything.
Apparently I can't spell Appalachian, but, Brian Laundrie friend.
interest in Gabby Petito's death. This as the FBI and the Northport Police inspect and scour through
someone just...
Child safety advocate John Walsh is imploring the public to keep their eyes open on this.
Oh, there's only 15 people on now. I think you were more popular, Alex. It's okay, I like hearing myself talk, so we're good. Oh, it says the speaker's off. I don't know. Jason said speaker's off.
John Walsh is confident it's only a matter of time before Brian Laundrie is discovered. The 23-year-old has been missing since September the 14th. Since then, his fiancée Gabby's remains have been positively identified.
You can hear me.
And her death classified by police as a homicide. The final results.
Oh my god, and she has 2 younger brothers too. You didn't know that?
Turning the focus to the search for Brian. Here's what we know so far. Brian returned to his parents' Florida home without Gabby on September the 1st.
Thank you, guys.
He was acting completely normal, and the Laundrie family went camping together about a week later.
Yo, that's so fucked up. Like, I understand helping your child, but this is too far. Like,
they were going for the weekend.
Divers are now assisting the search at the Carlton Reserve, where Brian allegedly went the day he disappeared. Meanwhile, the Okaloosa County Sheriff confirming this man, spotted with a backpack 500 miles from the Laundrie residence, is not Brian. Dog the Bounty Hunter, an experienced fugitive tracker, says we need to see what Brian's background is as far as domestic violence or
I feel he might not even have anything legally as domestic violence. It's just... But he's good at hiding it. Like, he seems charming and charismatic and so
This girl's terrorized.
fucking sad.
Domestic abuse. He's terrorized her not to tell the cops that he was the aggressor. He was the slapper and the puncher.
Gabby Petito's Instagram account is still active, and that is despite her confirmed death by authorities. That page now has over 1 million followers, and that is truly just one side.
Yeah, no, same. I just like talking to people.
Keep you posted on all the details.
What else? Oh, we should see about the, that was a month ago. Dog the Bounty. Wait. When was this posted? Yeah, yo, if dog catches, that would be so fucking funny. The fact that he really just went, well, there is like a 20K reward. So, like, dead ass, like, a trip to Florida and a camping backpack is a lot cheaper than 20 grand. So, like, I could go find him. I don't do insects that well, though, so maybe not. But, like, hypothetically, you could go out and catch him and get 20 grand. It's like a big difference. Damn, I can't believe, like, the parent, yeah, hide and seek. Yeah, let's all go meet up and find him. Honestly, they should just give them no peace. The parents are just as fucking guilty. You know, technically, as long as you stay on the sidewalk, like, not on their property, you can just stand there all day and yell at them. Neighbors should too. I'd be pissed as hell. Yeah, the money, yeah. It's a 20K reward. I think it's it's from a law firm in Florida. The FBI, and then I believe well, I know there's the warrant that's out on him is for, it's not for him related to her disappearance. Yeah, oh, when was her service?
Why are you looking for them?
We can't talk right now, I'm sorry.
Can you tell us why you're here, sir?
Well,
AES. Let's go tracking out into the Florida Everglades. Look at him with the phone in his face and that little teeny mic. Who was
this?
John Walsh, I can't believe my eyes when I
No.
looked at this statement from Stephen Bertolino, who is
Wait,
the lawyer
what?
for the Laundrie family. At first glance, I was
An
a bit
important
annoyed by it
detail.
because it
Yo,
felt
okay.
horrendous. It said,
If you tell
the
your
investigative
lawyer
plan
that you did it,
to
you
Brian
can't do that.
Laundrie
You
this
cannot
time.
tell the
It is
lawyer
my
that you did
understanding that
it.
the arrest warrant for Brian
The
Laundrie
lawyer has to
is related
excuse
to activities
himself.
occurring after the death of Gabby Petito, and it's not related to her actual demise. Well, I thought that was heartless, and it was tone deaf.
Oh, it's
But
tomorrow.
then
That's so sad.
realized, wait a minute, it's a lot more than that. How on earth could Stephen Bertolino or the Laundrie family know when Gabby Petito died? Because none of us knows when Gabby Petito died.
Yo, the lawyer's fucking in on it too.
Anything. It is not public. I don't know that the coroner knows it. I don't know at all whether we will ever
What
know
news
the
station
time of
is
death.
this?
So I am astounded that he seems to think this arrest warrant is related.
Oh, this is the John Wall. I fucking love him.
August 30th and September 1st, that period of time, and it's after Gabby's
Did he say
demise. What
when
on
was
earth does this
the
tell you?
exact day of death?
What I've been saying to you for the
This
whole
man's got
weekend.
some mad
Yes,
insight.
there's a special place in hell for Stephen Bertolino. He's doing the Johnny Cochran.
They also apparently were near the lawyer that also solved or defended Casey Anthony, I believe, and Aaron Hernandez.
So when it comes time,
So they may potentially be using them as well.
and sending these cops into the swamp to waste hundreds of thousands of dollars. He's going
Which
say,
it's
"I
just
didn't
it's
know
just
what
fucked up.
happened. It's lawyer-client privilege." But he knew that kid was gone. He knew that kid was.
But I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure that if you tell your lawyer you committed the crime, they have to excuse themselves because you cannot lie on the stand. Like, you can't perjure yourself on the stand, and if the lawyer knows that you're perjuring themselves, they have to either talk to you to get you to redo your testimony, or they have to excuse themselves as a conflict.
Mother, they know exactly what went on, and they drove that kid.
Oh, they
somewhere
totally
where they
know.
could run.
Exactly. He gets it. Oh, they could be charged. Oh, it's Fox, but we're gonna go with it.
A difficult case. For more into how local police and the FBI are conducting the search for Brian Laundrie, let's bring in former D.C. police detective, defense attorney.
Honestly, Mary, that you might be right. Like, I wouldn't even be that surprised.
Let me start with
Nothing about this. Like, it's all like surprising and then not at the same time.
issuing a warrant. Are they compelled? Do they have to help? And are you aware of any help they may have given the authorities?
Well, it's questionable. There's been some information out there, Griff, that the parents have not cooperated in this investigation. But when Brian was a missing person and not a fugitive, the parents did not have to cooperate. Now that Brian is considered a fugitive from justice, if I, as a lawyer, was representing the parents, I would tell them not to say anything because they are clothed with constitutional protections. And anything that they say now could very well be used against any family member. But on the other hand, if family members know of information that they can provide the authority, I believe that they should. But if they give false information, they certainly could be charged with a crime of accessory after the fact, contributing to his delinquency or his being gone.
Ted, I've covered many murder mysteries and manhunts with you over the years. What is your sense where
Manhunts.
the authorities are focusing their attention? What's going to help them find Brian?
Honestly, like, just
Griff,
people.
I was thinking about the fact that you and I
People have probably seen him and not noticed. What's up? Are you watching it downstairs?
where they were looking for fugitives.
How am I doing?
When we were up in Dannemora, New York, in the woods out there.
Wait, Peggy, wait.
This is a swampland where Brian
Sorry, my bad.
John
Walsh. Oh, he did? That she was beaten to death? Wait, that's confirmed?
John Walsh confirmed it's not really.
The fact about it is,
Let's walk.
concerned about the millions of dollars that they're putting into this swampland. Either they're
How would John
going
Walsh
to
know what
find
happened to
a body, or they're going to find
Not
Brian
representing
there,
anyone.
or Brian could be anywhere in the world right now.
He could be. Someone said they thought he saw him in Canada.
But I guess the FBI thinks he's in Florida. They're searching so hard for him because there's public outcry. That's why they're searching so hard for him. Okay, let's look up the John Walsh. Okay, so if John Walsh, Gabby Petito. Which one was it? Autopsy. Oh, that's so sad. A homicide. Okay, I know it says a homicide. Was he somehow, did they leak it to him? Which John Walsh interview was it?
One with Anderson Cooper. John Walsh, Anderson Cooper. He was just on CNN.
This one?
Go to the filter and then click today. Oh, no. Click, yeah, click this week then. Click this week. It was just. If not, go to my. It was in someone else's.
19 hours ago?
That's a completely different one. Like it's Anderson Cooper. Will be. Do this hour. Do this hour.
I think this is 4 days ago.
Oh, well maybe.
Does this look like the video?
An FBI agent friend of mine, and I was terrified when I first saw it when it didn't come out.
I'm pretty sure
Does
it look like this?
People who made the call said that he was.
This Banfield. Where's the chat? Dang. I feel like if John Walsh said it, it's probably true. He probably got information somehow. Ooh, domestic violence experts analyze. Oh, his parents are definitely lying.
Oh yeah, it could have been like 2 days ago.
No one fully disappears without a trace. Missing white woman syndrome. Untold truth of Gabby Petito. Oh, that's sad. Do you think maybe they got the neighbors to say that shit? I mean, how close are their neighbors? I don't know.
That's as close as you are with your neighbor.
I mean, it depends. Where I grew up, everyone was pretty close.
But someone in the neighborhood did this type of shit.
But not in this neighborhood. In this neighborhood, someone kills somebody, you're just like, I'm not saying nothing.
Not saying nothing?
Some people would, some people wouldn't. John Walsh used to be on, what was it? America's Wanted. What was he on? John Walsh was on. Okay, I'll show you guys like John Walsh. John Walsh is a criminal investigator, victim rights advocate, and the host of America's Most Wanted. That's what it's called. So he was on America's Most Wanted, and so I don't believe what like criteria does he have? I don't think he has any like actual education in criminal stuff, but he has experience from like being on the show and like investigating. He doesn't. Like I just went through. Oh, he has a history degree.
Okay. And he went on to.
And then he was involved in building luxury hotels. He has his experience through the show.
Oh my god. Really?
Yeah, he's not an expert, like a doctor. He doesn't have a doctorate in like criminal studies or something.
So he's just like a self-made guy.
Yeah, kind of. I mean, he has connections and he's like kind of self-taught, but he doesn't have like formal education in it, if that makes sense.
Peggy, where was the video? Oh, past it, side by side shot with Cooper.
Yeah.
Dang,
Yeah.
I missed it. Okay, where was it? This one? This one, this one, this one. This
Side
one?
by shots.
This one. Okay, got it. Thank you, Peggy. It'll click it. Okay. Let's see what this says.
Even alive, or will he be found alive? What are your thoughts on this?
Why is this video starting?
Found alive. I think this guy's too narcissistic to kill
That's the video I
I think he's gonna go.
Okay, we're gonna watch it from the beginning.
We are getting questions in from our viewers, people wondering, where is Gabby Petito's fiance Brian Laundrie, and what do his parents know about his?
Yeah, he started being interested in crime because it was like a personal connection.
They were on their way to pick up this car. So a Mustang, there it is, that police hauled away earlier this week. So far, they've remained silent about their son's whereabouts. Meantime, check out what their neighbors told Fox News about their activities on the day that Gabby was reported missing on September 11th.
I noticed that they got a new camper for the back of the pickup. I saw them loading it up, and so I assumed they were preparing for
I feel like they bought multiple.
Going on a trip, I can see that, but taking a 23-year-old son in a small camper that's on the
I feel like they bought multiple campers.
It's this girl lived with them. This lawyer,
Oh yeah, that's what's even more fucked up is that they lived with their parents. This isn't like just some girlfriend.
Tell you that Brian went to that reserve. You know what it was? It was a red herring. They bought Brian 4 more days to get away. They bought him 4 more days to run. It's disgusting. Some point, this family, this mother and father have to realize that somebody's beautiful daughter was murdered by their horrible sociopath.
She was about to be their daughter-in-law.
Strong words. For more on this, we are joined by child advocate for the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, as well as the co-host of In Pursuit with John Walsh on ID, Callahan Walsh. Thank you so much for joining us on the show. So we just heard what your father thinks. Do you agree? Did Brian's parents give him a head start, in your opinion?
I share the same opinion as my father. Maybe no surprise there. But the parents absolutely bought this guy time. Now with the neighbors coming forward with an alternate timeline from what they witnessed, seeing this mini camper being packed up and leaving for the weekend, even saying how strange
They just set him up with camp. They set up camp.
Male would be camping with their parents in such a small camper.
Yeah, he also like went on a walk around the neighborhood. Oh, you don't think this is the video?
And I think it's all the more reason that we need to really not trust the Laundrie.
Earlier in the video.
Yeah, no, we did that, but I think it was a different video. They also though went on like a they went on like a walk around the neighborhood together. I haven't gone on a walk around the neighborhood with my parents since I was 4 years old. Don't do that shit when you're 23. Like everyone together kind of thing. In the last 30 minutes.
Yeah, my watch.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I couldn't believe.
What were you thinking?
No, I mean, I say to go live with like.
You were saying you couldn't live with my parents and then kill me?
No, I'm saying, like, she said, imagine her life with.
Yeah, no, it's like, it's just like, I mean, it's horrible no matter what, but I feel like it's even more horrible because of the fact that, like, not only was she about to be, like, legally a part of their family, but, like, they lived with each other for at least a year, I believe. So, it's just, like,
I just want to give you a better idea of where
a 90-pound woman to go.
Gabby Petito really took place. You're going to see a campground.
I know, like, she says, he loved her. Imagine if he didn't love her, like, how he would have.
This small creek.
Although, I feel like in domestic abuse cases, sometimes them loving you is more dangerous than them, like, not liking you.
Where we saw the majority of those markings from law enforcement.
This was 300 yards from where that van was found. And then did you see the video where
back is where we saw all of that. Well, this area, of course, is a national forest. It's where people are camping.
did you
It's where
see the video where it was slowed down and you could see the van door close? Like he definitely had her body in the back of the van in that video. Totally did. And then her body was found 300 yards from there.
Promotes a lot of recreating. Now, an autopsy for Petito was performed yesterday by the Teton.
Although the irony is,
death as a homicide. The official
he committed this crime potentially in two of the states that have the death penalty.
Yeah.
Like he didn't do this shit in like, I don't know, New York.
Just today, Petito's brother did go to
I believe majority of states got rid of it.
Saying he's going to miss her till the end, using the hashtag Justice for Gabby. We're seeing a lot of that today. Of course, the big question, could
Virginia, Wyoming, Utah, Louisiana, Ohio, Colorado, Mississippi, Arizona, Nevada, Idaho, South Carolina, Delaware, Kansas, Kentucky, West Virginia, Iowa, Mississippi.
At this point, Brian Laundrie remains missing.
Yeah.
Police in Florida again searching for him.
It's a lot of red states. Moratoriums in place. Death penalty is illegal. Death penalty is legal.
And it's pretty far from the nearest roadway, but they spent a full day here after those human remains were discovered, now known to be that of Gabby.
Florida, it's legal. Wyoming, it's legal. You should have done this shit in Colorado. Like, weren't they just in Colorado? They could have done it in California, which is where he was supposedly going. Well, to be honest, I don't know. I don't know if it's premeditated or not.
Probably not premeditated right now, but
yeah, it was 300 yards from that.
Earlier today, a preliminary autopsy took place at the Teton County Coroner's Office.
Yeah, there hasn't really been any news lately. Maybe that they learned something and they're not allowed to release it yet. Because sometimes they can ask, especially if it's like the FBI is saying don't release it yet, they have to like listen to it.
Following that announcement, the FBI issued
But what more news do you really have about the situation? He's just missing a
It could either be that they found her cause of death, or they're being respectful for the service tomorrow, or they're preparing to air the service, or they found him. Something about him. Because they have to prepare, they usually prepare a statement before announcing they found somebody. You don't just like... Oh, under fire for his...
Yeah, no question, Shep, and a lot of frustration.
Yeah, no. How do you lose a fucking person?
Muggy, swampy reserve to carry out this search. Many highly critical of how Northport police have handled the Gabby Petito investigation from the start.
How the hell did the FBI and the Northport police let this kid slip out of the house?
True.
That echoes across the country right now.
The Sarasota police has RVs.
When he was seemingly right
I did not. Since when do police departments have RVs?
Trying to make contact with Gabby Petito's fiance. The weekend they seized the couple's van, but that he and his parents refused to talk. The following Tuesday,
they probably stripped the inside.
Laundrie's parents say he left the house to hike the Carlton Reserve.
Anyone got a plane?
The Northport chief of police told CNBC.
We have.
They haven't. Well, yeah, it did happen. It'll probably be in Wyoming unless the Florida asks for it to be done in Florida because he's a resident there. But Wyoming will probably take jurisdiction. Yeah, it kind of. But you can ask for it to be switched to a different state. Like you can. Like if the two states agree, you change jurisdiction.
Right now, currently, I don't know where he's at right now.
Because they technically Wyoming has to extradite him from Florida. Yeah, so if he's in the Florida Everglades and they catch him alive, he would have to be extradited to Wyoming to undergo the trial there. It works. Well, I don't know. Did he use the credit card there? Or is it only in Wyoming? Because it's like at least 3 days of driving.
and Suffolk County.
So did he use it at all in the other states? Because not only did he kill her, he took her money. He spent over $1,000 of her own money. That's insane. Insane.
And Natalie, this was just released about 20 minutes ago. We have learned that a federal arrest warrant has been issued out of the U.S. District Court of Wyoming for Brian Christopher Laundrie. This is pursuant to a federal grand jury indictment related to Mr. Laundrie's activities following the death of Gabby Petito. They also tweeted out the charging documents, and we were able to take a quick look at them. It appears it is related to his unauthorized access of a debit card, a Capital One debit card, presumably Ms. Petito's. I don't know. I can't say that for sure, but they're saying that he had unauthorized access and used this debit card.
Yeah, Wyoming's the state that charged him, but not for the murder. They charged him for the credit card fraud. And he has not been charged at all in relation to her disappearance.
That's the time frame we're looking at. So this is just coming out. The federal arrest warrant was just issued for Brian Laundrie. Meanwhile, police were back in the Carlton Reserve, that 25,000-acre nature preserve, looking for him. Gabby Petito was still alive on August 27th. The manager of a restaurant in Jackson, Wyoming, confirming she was there with her fiance, Brian Laundrie. Petito was found dead in Wyoming on Sunday. She went missing during a cross-country road trip with Laundrie. Here in Florida, Laundrie's silver Mustang back in the driveway of his home this morning. Police towed it away earlier this week to search it. We saw Brian's parents get into their pickup truck, driving away with a law enforcement officer following them. Their attorney says the couple went to Orlando today, but he would not say what they were doing there. Back at the Carlton Reserve, officers from 16 different agencies hit the ground again today. Laundrie's parents told police he went there last Tuesday, but they never saw him again. Heading out in swamp buggies that place them several feet high in the air to give them a better view and a better chance of navigating the swamp-like terrain.
We teamed up, we broke them into different groups to do a line search and a grid search throughout a specific area in the Carlton Reserve.
Yeah, he's running. He's guilty as fuck. Guilty. Oh, honors her memory.
Well, this case has garnered national attention. So many people.
Yeah, Baker's mother. It's horrible too because the parents messaged his, like her parents messaged his parents.
Strangers are showing their support. Stacey?
It is really sad though. I wish other people, like I wish more missing cases had this kind of coverage.
Half a mile all the way up to the home of Gabby Petito's family.
Oh, this video. Have you guys seen this video?
Right to it with the autopsy results from the human remains discovered, believed to be that of missing travel vlogger Gabby Petito. Tragically, the FBI
you don't run
has been found dead.
if you're innocent.
A homicide, but the cause of death remains under wraps. Now,
Alone
TikTok providing another police clue, placing her fiancé Brian Laundrie at the scene of the crime in late August.
So I saw Brian Laundrie parking his van August 26th at Spread Creek.
TikToker Jessica Schultz phoned the FBI, possibly providing them with the eyewitness account they needed to locate Gabby Petito's remains. Let's break down the timeline for you. Gabby was last seen on a cross-country road trip with her fiancé, Brian Laundrie, on August the 24th in Salt Lake City. On August 25th, she made her final phone call to her mother while on her way to Grand Teton.
It just like, I don't know, it kind of to me at least mirrors the Shannon Watts case. Shannon and Chris Watts. Like, at least the relationship part where it was like kind of perfect online, but not so much. In reality, there were these like problems.
It was just him. There was no Gabby.
This is wild. This is like after. See, this is where I think he killed her that day.
Was that there was no indication that there was anybody actually at
and then he hung around for a couple days after the fact.
Doors open, they're outside, they have a hammock, something, but we didn't see any signs of actual life at the van.
Have you all watched her actual vlog, which was literally posted like a couple of days before she was killed? And she seems so happy. And he kind of seems like submissive to her almost.
Are tied in her memory.
Yeah, it's actually pretty good odds. You've probably met someone who's killed somebody.
Search dogs and drones to scour the 24,000-acre Carlton Reserve looking for Laundrie, but the swampland is hampering their progress.
Terrain's very difficult. Essentially, 75% of it's underwater, and other areas that are dry we're trying to clear.
Okay. Hey, Alex.
It's almost the season of sales. Time to start listing your house. Next month, as we all know, is the most popular time of the year for it. It's the dream of so many people, a home to call your own. But what if your dream house is somebody else's dream too? About to turn your home sweet home into a nightmare.
That is exactly what happened.
What is this one about? Is this about this one video I thought?
Maybe on the way. Little pranks at first, but then real danger. Strangers showing up. Someone out for revenge against them.
To save you 7 minutes, someone was targeting. Okay, wow. Okay, well, good. I don't have to watch the video then. 383 days to find a man dead in his own living room. Yes. No, the amount of random doppelgangers they found, like they found, I think they say that there's like at least 7 people on the planet who look just like you, and they found at least 5 of like Brian's fucking doppelgangers. Yo, is this the live in fear buying house, woman harasses? That's kind of funny. What else should we watch? Oh, I think I remember that video. I don't know, what other topics do you guys like?
At a children's hospital. They had one child and another very much on the way.
Any topics to shout out for? No, he was not. He was a bald-ass white man. No, he was not cute. We do not. No, we don't stand for murderers being cute. No, do you guys remember when, like, everyone was obsessed with the Ted Bundy, what's his name? The Ted Bundy, like, documentary or whatever, because he was, like, cute. Or no, that kid, I think there was a kid, a teenager, who drove his, like, van, where was it? It was, like, teenager kills mom and baby. This guy, everyone, like, fucking simped for him because he was, like, cute and he shouldn't, yeah, everyone, like, thought he didn't deserve to be in jail because he was so attractive. This guy right here. The one on the left. Because he was shot, because, you know, like, you commit the crime, yada yada, and then it takes, like, a couple years sometimes to be actually, like, have your trial. California City Boys? Look at that one.
On count 1, vehicular homicide, what plea do you want to enter?
Oh, this one? Oh my gosh. These?
From our 17 follow-up file now, it has been 7 months to the day that 2 young boys from California City were reported missing, and the search for them continues. 4-year-old Orson and Orrin West were reported missing December 21st. That is 212 days ago, and police have yet to find them. Bakersfield police are in charge of this investigation. If you have information that could lead investigators to these young boys, you are urged to contact the Secret Witness Hotline, where you can remain anonymous. That phone number, once again,
yeah, okay, I don't get that. The whole, like, fan mail. I mean, there always are, like, I think I saw, like, a documentary. It's, like, serial killer fangirls, something. Yeah, Ted Bundy fans on TikTok. See, exactly what I was saying. Jeffrey Dahmer, like, everyone's, like, I think, I forget, someone broke it down, like, a psychological, reasoning behind why women, like, romanticize serial killers. Thought it was really interesting.
Joe Rogan Experience. Do you ever do a demographic breakdown of who watched, like,
the California City Boys? Let's see.
Who watches those crime shows? Because it's mostly women, isn't it?
Anecdotally, that's what everybody says. There was a
Yeah.
funny bit on Saturday Night Live the other night that was like, you know, what
Guys,
do
I can't
ladies do
spell.
when they're home alone? You know, wait, you know, then they like throw on the
2020.
murder shows.
Yeah, why is that?
I don't know. It's a weird thing.
Oh,
And when
that
we were making
host
Night
a prayer
Stalker,
vigil, so
there
it
was,
is
we
still
would get
ongoing
to
because this is from
the point in the
like
interview
a month
where
ago.
finally, you know, I would ask everybody like, okay, so for some reason or another, this guy becomes like the Jim Morrison.
Well, guys, if you
serial
know
killer,
anything
because
about it,
when he's paraded
hotline
through
and
the
$125,000
all of a sudden,
reward.
he's got these like groupies and fans, and they're sending him. And I had gotten access.
Chris Watts
to
and Brian
all of the,
Laundrie
like, naked pictures
remind
that
me
the
a lot
boys
of
were
like,
sending
and
in,
not only
you know,
just
'cause
the
this
bald
author had written a book about it and
heads,
had all this stuff.
but
And I
this is
was like-
interesting.
and you always have to kind of ask that awkward question of like, so why does this guy become this sort of crazy sex symbol object of desire, you know, obscure object
Yeah, why
of
do
desire?
women
And it's
like
always
serial
like kind of,
killers?
particularly with the, you know, the women who are being interviewed, but everybody. And nobody quite has an answer. Is it the bad boy thing? Is it the celebrity thing? But this is somebody that, like, you know, I think as one of the people said, this is somebody that would eat you for dinner, not like, you know, there's no, it's craziness to have any attraction.
True,
to
the
it,
killer's
but yet it
power to
exists.
nurture and
You know,
change
this guy has,
him.
like groupies and fans.
And it's very common for murderers to get,
Hugely
especially
Cling to
murderers
idea
of
that they'll be
men, to
understood.
get all these propositions from
That
women.
he won't kill me,
Yeah,
I'm
very
special.
strange.
Super strange.
And you know,
That's
I
really
read something
interesting.
about that. No, you know, Whitney Cummings was actually telling me about this. She said she read that it was something that had to do with there was like an evolutionary benefit to getting close.
December
to killers.
2020, they went
Like that-
missing.
I think this is
Let's see.
theoretical.
In what regard?
That the idea of it's very hard to kill someone.
Once
And-
you have like human personal contact, is
But
that what you're saying?
Oh, this was one day ago in Los Angeles.
Search for two brothers,
That
little
it's
boys. Their
difficult
names
to
are
do.
Orrin and Orson West. They're just 3 and 4 years old. Their brothers
3
had
and
disappeared
4
a few days
years
before
old.
last Christmas.
Eyewitness News reporter Leo Stallworth talked with one of the investigators on the case about where things stand in the quest to find them.
Orson and Orrin West missing for 9 months now. Their adoptive parents maintain the brothers disappeared from the backyard of their California City home 4 days shy of Christmas Day last year.
That's
Police
crazy.
undergoing multiple massive searches for the boys, yet so far nothing. Frustrating for detectives diligently working the case, trying to follow up on possible credible tips while weeding out outlandish conspiracies.
I want to hear more details about like what happened.
Everything that you can.
Because maybe we all make these theories the same way everyone did about the Gabby Petito case.
But he won't provide details.
This is a hard one, Leo. It's one that we don't want to mess up. You have 2 missing kids, and they're gone, and you have to figure out what happened to them. The stakes are too high.
Sergeant Parra says they are keeping this case close to the vest. This despite being accused of not working hard enough to find the boys because they are African American.
The people working on this and the people that are invested in this, that's something that
I know, 9 months and nothing.
and it's hurtful on a personal
Maybe the
level,
foster
right?
parents did
Nobody
something
likes
to
being
them.
accused of that.
Because they're going off of what the parents said, right? But
When the truth comes to light, it's going to speak.
is the truth even going to come to light?
What happened to those babies?
The community reaching out to Eyewitness News for a follow-up story on the mysterious disappearance, and we are doing just that.
It's sad. It's heartbreaking. And our whole community has been out searching for them, and there's no trace of them.
Robin Plants lives directly behind the home the missing boys apparently shared with their adoptive parents. However, Robin says she finds it bizarre. The kids turned up missing from their adoptive parents' backyard, yet she never saw children playing in the yard and never noticed any.
Oh, you're right. It was totally the fucking parents.
I don't believe the kids were ever here.
Everyone concerned remains hopeful the boys will be found safe and sound before the holidays roll around yet again.
No, and it's the same thing. I mean, like, it is. They just don't focus on cases that aren't, like, kind of the attractive serial killer and the, like, idealized, like, missing white woman. It just doesn't. If it's someone else, they just don't look for them. Let's see, what else do they have about this? Reported missing. Alien abduction. My bet's on the parents. Did they ever check the yard? Never saw them playing and never noticed any children living in the home. Yeah, that sounds like abusive parents to me.
From our 17 follow-up file tonight, we have an update on
Adoptive
the case of those
grandmother.
two missing
See,
California City boys,
they're
Orrin
on
and
it.
Orson West. Bakersfield police confirming today that a search warrant was served Friday at the home of the boys' adoptive
Oh my God, are you
grandparents,
for real,
and
CC?
providing a short statement to the public about what they called unfounded speculation over that warrant. BPD saying today, quote, search warrants are normal in
I don't see anything about Brian Laundrie. Bungholio, Florida. This is live update. Oh, is this that Alan? There's nothing about him being found.
Hi, this is Miss Harmony. Today's date is September 18th, 2021.
Where is that
Today I would
sound
like to
coming
bring
from?
out an interview done by Rose Davis, who lives in Sarasota, and half an
Where is, it's like Walt and JB, Gabby Petito. WFLA. WFLA. See, and I can't type. Okay. WFLA. Hi. Here we go.
Injuries to the manhunt for Brian Laundrie here at this time. So there was, of course, a lot of speculation when we began this stream that the two could in any way, shape, or form be related, but we've just been informed, WFLA has just been informed that the two are not related. JB Buno, Brian Enton, Walt Buteau joining us here, everybody, on WFLA Now. Would like to thank Sarah on Twitter for using News Nation, that hashtag, as far as addressing that comment. Let's get to this next one here. This is a great one. I'm going to ask this one to Brian and Walt here. Brian, you've been working around the clock on this story, so this is a great question here from Valerie Lilly on Facebook, hashtag News Nation. And I'll ask this again to the two of you. As a journalist, who would you want to interview next to try to get new leads and information? And Brian, this is a question I'm sure that when you wake up every morning, this is the question that you ask yourself. What do we say here for Valerie's comment?
I mean, super easy answer, obviously Brian Laundrie's parents. If we could get them to talk, I think they would have quite a story to tell. I think they've got information that we don't know about. You know, I've been outside their house every single day. just hoping at some point, you know, you never know when they're going to crack and come out and just start wanting to talk. And, you know, I mean, if their son, you know, if they really believe their son is missing, you know, why don't they want to come out and plead for help, you know, if they've got nothing to hide? So
Yeah, they're totally eyeing
definitely
you.
the parents for me.
And then, Brian, after that, that's after the obvious answers, who else would you want to interview on this story?
Let's
I
see.
feel like
You know,
you're running out
really
of things to
try not
talk about.
touch
Hey,
with the fact
Alex.
that, you know, Gabby Petito was like a beautiful person, you know, creative person, you know, a dreamer. Seemed like she had such an incredible life ahead of her. And I've been so focused on the investigation and Brian Laundrie that, you know, I would really, it'd really be, you know, an honor to interview like Gabby Petito's parents. I haven't had the chance to do that. And, you know, get a chance to really tell her story also.
What do you think, Walt?
I think, well, first of all, I think the Laundries are a great pick. But if we're going to dream here, I guess I would want to interview Brian Laundrie himself.
Well, obviously, we'd all like to interview Brian Laundrie.
Obviously, he's
although I
closest
feel like
to-
he's going to
to
end
what
up dead.
And the FBI doesn't necessarily give interviews, as we know, but a sit down with the lead investigator would be great and informative. And I think that I just named two unreachables. Brian's are more possible than mine, but
Hey, text
but
me.
those, you know, there's so much information we don't know. Brian alluded to it earlier. Why is the FBI and all these officers so focused on this one area in this 25,000 acre wooded and swampy preserve near the house? What did they know that is keeping them there for now? What is
I
7 out of the
think
last 8 days?
we're gonna.
Again, taking your hashtag news.
6 out of the last 7 days. Sorry, losing track.
Yeah, no, the timeline. And I'm sure that Brian would agree here. The timeline. There's so many dates now in the timeline. Just like you would see on an episode of your favorite TV show, we need an
I don't know how to
enormous
do
big
this.
board here just to with
Okay,
thumbtacks
everybody,
to pinpoint every big date
subscribe
and
to
be able
Alex
to move
J.R.
things around. But right now,
Joseph.
the timeline, folks, and it's on
I'm gonna
WFLA.com.
go. If I
You
can
also
figure
find it
out
on
how to leave this. I don't know how to do this.
The timeline is starting to. We're starting to get more
Yeah, I guess
information on the
it
timeline,
is.
and the big thing again was this federal indictment that
How
came down
do
last
I
night when we
do
were live
that?
on WFLA Now, giving us again information here connected to the charge of use of unauthorized access devices, which is of course connected to the Capital One debit card that was again allegedly illegally used by Brian Laundrie on the dates of August 30th, August 31st, and September 1st of 2021. Big thanks to the commenter there, Valerie.
Go
Great,
to the
phenomenal
black
comment here.
window.
Again, another 5 minutes here with that cheat code, as I call it, to get your comment up here on screen. Use hashtag NewsNation across any of our social media platforms here, and we can animate your comment here on screen. Angela Marie, hashtag NewsNation, hashtag Hey Walt, hashtag Hey JB. I think the parents met with the lawyer to figure out how to bring Brian out of hiding and maybe turn himself in now that there is an arrest warrant. And I bring up this hypothetical that Angela brings up here for the simple reason that, and the simple fact that there's tons of speculation yesterday, and Brian was right on top of this. Brian Enton was right on top of this as far as the trip that they took in the morning, Brian Laundrie's parents taking in the morning, traveling to Orlando, and then resuming. And then, of course, Brian had the news soon thereafter that the reason was because the attorney, Stephen Bertolino, had flown into Orlando and that there was a meeting that took place in Orlando. Brian, while we have you here live for another few minutes, is there any new information here to Angela's comment here? Is there any new information about that meeting that occurred in Orlando?
Nothing really new. Obviously, it was a secret meeting, but there was a lot of speculation yesterday